All right. I'll press the button, and then there's no return. There's no way back. Welcome, everyone, to the FATED Connections Path of Exile Community Podcast, episode number 80. The gauntlet is upon us. We got a new announcement with like a completely different gauntlet from anything we've seen before from Zizaran. So we're going to talk all about that with our fellow gauntlet enjoyer, Deedledo, and our local gauntlet expert, cArn. Welcome, guys. And before we go into the juice, I want to quickly inform everyone listening to the podcast that on top of the YouTube VOD having some ads, there is a new option to put ads into the podcast via our hosting service Buzzsprout. They recently put that into beta, and it seems like a very promising thing, so we've been trying that out. So if you're listening to any ads on the Spotify, Google Podcast, or something like that, that interrupt the podcast, rest assured that this is not other people making money off of us. This is straight advertising money that goes to FATED Connections that helps with the hosting costs, and I'll keep a close eye on that. Make sure that it's not too disturbing. If there's any problems with it, let us know in the comments, write a review on those things, and I'll make sure that those are not too intrusive going forward. But also, if there's any problems with it, you can always go to twitch.tv/CatmasterOP, go to the past videos, and there in the highlights, as long as we're doing this podcast live on Twitch, there will always be a completely adless highlight that you can listen to or even download with third-party apps from the Twitch. Thank you for your support. And having said that, how is everyone doing? Welcome back, Balor.
Oh, man. I'm still stuck in solo self-found, but it's amazing, by the way. I'm kind of in love. First time ever, just super involved.
That's good. You're going to play the gauntlet, right? You said last time you want to play more gauntlets.
Maybe.
I was a little bit surprised to see that you're still in SSF and you haven't started to practice yet.
So, like, last gauntlet was like the hardest gauntlet ever, right?
Exactly.
And I went and played that, and I made it to level 90, and I didn't get a single death. And that was like me proving that I'm still capable of being not Papega and actually paying attention. And mostly proving it to myself, because like as you know well, I started in hardcore and played like 15,000 hours of hardcore before I went to softcore. And so I had to like prove to myself that I could still like sit up and pay attention and not be an idiot and stand in things. But I don't know if I want to do Gauntlet again this time, just because I'm having so much fun in solo self-found doing what I'm doing that I don't want to interrupt it.
But how can you be sure that you're not an idiot then?
Well, I mean, I made it to level 90 last time, and this one will be easier. It'll be a lot easier to level. I'm really excited to watch it a lot, though. I'm really excited to see how many people make it to maps that never have before.
Fair enough.
That's going to be really interesting.
But in the meantime, cArn here has probably already completed 2 practice runs. How's it going with the practice, cArn?
No, just one. Just one, because I took my time on this one to figure things out, like how I wanted to do things, like what would be the best way. But it's going as I was expecting. Like I played Sabo before, it just
Right.
And also the mods are like a lot easier than the previous one. They're still like, I think they're still deceptively harder than people are expecting, because 40% monster life makes a kind of big difference for the mapping experience compared to before. Like before, if you just had damage, it was fine. Like you could play, if you play, for example, the Bone Shadow, like monsters don't hit you anyway, so it was fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for something like Sabo, it's a lot more painful to map with these mods.
But last time we had 100% increased damage, right? Globally. And now you have like a little bit of damage that ramps up.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be easier overall, for sure. It's going to be easier. Especially leveling. Leveling is going to be like way easier. Though. Leveling before was a nightmare. And I died a lot. Like I'm not like 4 times or something. It was a nightmare. Every time, the biggest thing was just re-leveling.
You
going to racks. Getting to racks.
Super dedicated last gauntlet. So many deaths and so many like instant rerolls and instantly getting back. I was very much and found myself in admiration of your persistence.
Even just that first bit from like the start to the end of Act 5 with the mods the way they're going to be now, it's just going to be so much smoother and easier. Like,
Yeah.
Also, there's Arc Nemesis too. Arc Nemesis is also in the game that was not like last week. We didn't have Arc Nemesis. So I think it's gonna be easier, but I think people will die a lot if they think it's just gonna be like, oh, it's normal league. Because it's not. It's a lot. It's gonna be. You can't compare it to the last Gauntlet like mod to mod and say, okay, this is this much easier, because it won't be.
Yeah, you'll still get like perfect storm scenarios of like bad rares on bad base types or bad mob types.
Mm.
That'll just one shot you like a hasted something along
it'll
with
be a
the
hasted rower.
hasted roas.
Yeah, you're already doing practice as well, Deedle. What build are you going for there?
So, excuse me. I'm getting started a little bit later than I wanted to because I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to shore up in actual league because I have a lot of things that I still want to do after the gauntlet. But initially, I was gonna go Sab Trapper because that's kind of a comfort pick and I know the build well. But then I started thinking about it and I was like, dude, I've done Sab Trapper like the last 4 gauntlets in a row or 3 or 4, plus done it multiple times in multiple leagues. And I'm like, I don't want to level another Trapper. So I was like, well, what else could be like okay? So obviously the secondary pick would be DD, which is a pretty smooth leveler. It's going to fall off, I think, a bit towards the end game without some okay gear, especially for some of the bossing. But I think it'll get there okay. And
there's no increased monster life on the Gauntlet this time, but instead they're doing less damage taking. So
less damage, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's that mod is toxic.
So who knows how that's gonna go with a damage over time type situation.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna change much for. I mean, DD is gonna affect DD, but the same way it affects every other build. So
true, yeah.
And
DD is just not gonna benefit from the extra or the extra life that the mobs have gotten in the past. But it's a pretty comfy build. It's not it maps okay. It bosses okay. I think it's tanky.
And DD is still top 2 build. Like it's still faster than Sabo. Like if in a scenario where you're confident just killing the bosses on DD is the winning build. But most people, I think, like no one is comfortable enough to do the Ubers on DD with these mods.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not planning on doing the Ubers. If I get to the Ubers and I can do it, then I will. But I'm not expecting to.
No, I mean, with gear, it should be fine. Just need to farm more than a Sabo would, probably.
What I'm more concerned with that less damage taken thing is how it affects ailments, though. And cruelty.
It should not change anything. It's going to be the same thing as the Monster Life.
Will it?
Yeah, it should. Like, the ailment threshold is based on their life.
You know, I think why do I feel like 40% less damage taken is way worse than 100% increased life for ailments. I think the reason that I think that is because map mods give you increased life, sentinel buffs give you increased life. Normal rares when we didn't have sentinels have increased life, and those all stacked additively. But now we're going to get those from the map mods and then also have just a less damage taken.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's worse. In general, it can be worse, but like if it's just the mod by itself, then it should be the same. But yeah, like for bosses, it should be the same.
It should be about the same, right? As like more life versus less damage taken.
The thing where it's bad is for Leech. It's really bad for Leech, though. Like Leech is purely based on the damage you deal, and it's not like aim threshold or stun threshold. It's just the damage you deal, and if you deal less damage, you have less Leech. So for Slayer, that's why I was like, once I saw this, I was like, yeah, there's no one playing Slayer. It was already gonna be kind of sketchy with Ubers having damage reduction as the mods of the zone, but now with that also in the leagues, like, yeah, no way.
will say that I was watching some people playing Sab, and I've already known that Sab has good damage, but holy moly. Like Exile, Ventura, cArn, like they're all doing so much damage on like very little gear. I'm like, do I really want to go DD or do I want to go Sab Trapper? But I really don't want to level another Trapper.
I mean, DD is gonna feel better mapping. Like early mapping on Sabo with these mods is miserable.
Yes, it definitely is, and that's a big part of why I don't want to go. Is because I don't want to go through that pain anymore.
If I was not playing for rank 1, I would not play Sabo. I would not recommend Sabo. Fuck that. It's not fun.
Wait, so you're saying everyone who's doing Sabo is not shooting for rank 1?
No, if you're not shooting for rank 1, if you're not shooting for rank 1, there's no point playing Sabo.
Oh yeah, that way around. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, your Fizz Trapper is probably going to be the person who takes rank 1.
Yeah.
Right?
So rank 1, rank 2.
Yeah, if you're competing for that, that's a good reason to play it. But otherwise...
I still think DD is better for rank 1. It's just that it's harder. Yeah, it's faster. When it's faster, it gets to bosses first and it can do the bosses. It's not comfortable, but it can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be pain champ on the boss.
It's just, if someone,
Right, yeah, your Sabo is going to have a much better time on the boss itself.
Yeah, that's the only time Sabo feels good.
Getting there.
That's the one thing that feels good about Sabo is like everything, like the whole mapping up to 16 is like awful until you get like level 20 gems, like 19, 20 gems. Let's say 20. It feels awful until you get some gear. But the good thing is like as soon as you get a guardian, you put it in, you just do it. You get a boss, you put it in, you just do it instantly. You don't need anything. Level 20 gems all you need to do everything, like set up the Ubers and stuff.
Yeah, because you can front load so much damage with like dumping all your seismics.
Yeah, it's like just mechanically, seismic mechanically is already insanely good, and it also has really good numbers. It's like the skill, to me, this skill makes no sense. It has everything.
Well, it does have a cooldown, so
yeah, but that's a good thing about it, because it's balanced around having a cooldown. It's like you deal with damage. It does a lot of damage because it has a cooldown. And then you have to wait for it. But the fact that it's balanced, that it has a cooldown, makes it good for bossing because then downtime doesn't affect you as much. As long as you
get the boss down in like 1 or 2 rounds, then downtime doesn't really do much. Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter how long you fight the boss. It's just that if you have to run around because you have to dodge mechanics, whatever, it's as long as you had traps down and they're just cooling, the cooldowns are coming back, then it's fine. You're not
not wasting time in terms of
you're not losing any damage. Like
not just the cooldown, but charges, right? Like because it's got charges, if you have to run around for an extra 10 seconds, you get 3 charges back, but you're not capped yet. You haven't wasted any damage.
Yeah, exactly. You don't lose any damage.
You're still dealing damage while you're waiting for that. Plus, you get cooldown from Sab, and you scale duration, so your traps last like 8 seconds per.
The only thing that matters is that you actually don't. You never had 4 traps basically. If you had max, you have all your charges, and you're not able to deal damage with them, then you're losing damage. But that's like. Not even close to something like, say you play melee, you have to, every single second you're not dealing damage, you're losing like, I don't know, whatever your DPS, you're losing 5 million damage, boom, gone, because you didn't hit for like a second. On Sabo, this does not happen, on Seismic. You just don't lose any damage. We lose a tiny bit, but very little.
We just had a question in chat, which was how will cruelty work with the gauntlet with less damage mods? And I'd say like just the same way it does. Like cruelty has this effect where the more damage over time is based on the percentage of the max life removed by a damaging hit. And yeah, with less damage, that will just make cruelty weaker, right? Because you do less damage with a damaging hit. It's harder to hit those thresholds.
It will be the same.
I don't
think it's gonna be any difference. It'll be the same, yeah. I mean, it was the same in. You already. It's all, like I said, it's based on the HP. It's like ailment threshold type of stuff.
Yeah, no, but like Balor pointed out previously, when we had increased max life, with other increased max life additively, but now the less damage taken multiplies with the less life. So
I mean, you just don't put monster life. Yeah, but I mean, you just don't put monster life on your maps. That's all.
Yeah, that's a good plan to not roll monster life.
Oh god.
Yeah, it'll be super tanky. Yeah.
As long as you don't put life on, it should be slightly better to have 40% less damage taken than 100% increased life, right?
I mean,
Slightly better, not much.
just
It
like you
should
said,
be roughly
there's
the
increased
same.
life that you don't have an influence on, like from Arch Nemesis mods or
Yeah, true, true.
from
Essences and beasts.
Sentinels.
And
Yeah.
Sentinel, yeah.
Are you gonna like do Sentinel a lot in the Gauntlet? The loot is
Yes.
too good to move
All the
out on.
time.
Yeah.
I think at some point you just stop doing it if you're weak or if you're doing content that's a bit higher than you should be doing, maybe.
Yeah. When you're
Like most
pushing
of the
it.
time, yeah. Like on Sabo, it's just kind of bad. Like early Sentinel on Sabo felt really, really bad because it's like you don't have enough damage. You don't have your XN doesn't do enough damage, and you know there's tank mods on top of the Arch Nemesis. Arch Nemesis, sorry, Sentinel.
Some situations like Delirium, or like if you're next to a essenced beast, is probably not a good idea. But yeah, every other aspect, like Exhibit's saying, not in any Exarch influence maps.
Nah, I do them in Exarch, and it's fine. Just have to be strong. That's all. Once you're strong, you can do it.
Just make a strong build. Just
No,
don't push
I
it.
mean the thing is like when you're weak, yeah, you try to not do as much Sentinel. When you do it, maybe you go back if you need like I don't know some currency, then you go back to lower tier maps and you do like some currency Sentinel or some things like this. But it just depends like what map you're running to, how strong you are at the time.
Right, it's a catch-22 though, because like if you're not strong, you should probably be doing some Sentinels so you can get some more gear and currency to get strong. So you're kind of want to do that anyway.
They also give a shitload of XP, like the empowered monsters from Sentinels.
They have XP, a lot of loot. It's really good.
And especially the very sought after recombinators that you're gonna need to make your gear.
All of it. Most of it.
For sure. Recombinators are gonna be clutch this gauntlet, I think.
I knew how strong recombinators were, but I didn't realize how strong they were even on the low gearing end until I started playing solo self-found. Like they're insane even for super early, like for stuff you find off the ground could be made into like great things.
I've been telling you, Balor. You were like, "Oh, I don't want to pick up anything from the ground." I was like, "SSF."
But you have to. You pick up stuff. Like anything can be useful with combinators. Anything.
To be fair, I did alt roll them and then smash them together, but they came off the floor to start with.
Yeah. And you can
Where
pick
else
up.
You gonna get them?
Now you can pick up stuff like I don't know, a fractured cloth belt. There's tier 1 life on it. Alright, good. I'm just gonna recombinate this into a leather belt, and I'm happy.
I would like fractured life on my tier 1 fractured life on my Stygian, please.
Yeah, you can do that. Recombinators, OP.
Yeah.
I don't think I found a single tier 1 fractured life belt in the entire league.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't found any good fractures. I'm saving them for Gauntlet.
I did.
That's good.
Nice.
I bricked it.
I found like two, a tier 1 and a tier 2 attack speed fracture on claws, and both times I recombined it onto Imperial Claw and sold for multiple X. That was fun.
Nice.
It's extremely easy too. Like you can almost, it's like very high chance of, it's like 70% chance I think to get it on the right base. No, 70, sorry. It's like 50-50, yeah.
Oh, 50-50 to get it on the right base.
No, 50-50. It's like just to get the right base. Once you get the right base, I think it's like what? Isn't it like 66% or something?
It's 66% to move it if you do it the right way. Like if you've got
if it goes
and you've crafted in the right place and shit, it's 66%.
Okay, yeah. Wait, no. How can it be 66?
To move a mod correctly.
But it should be. It should be. There's no way. How can it be 66?
But it's 50-50 of what base it picks, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The base is 50-50 to get the correct craft to move.
Okay, okay. That is correct. I believe.
Wait, there's nothing you can do to influence the base. It's 50-50 flat up. There's no way to influence that, but you can influence what moves. Yeah. And if you do that right, it's 66% chance to make the correct thing move.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, how? Can you explain that? So if I have like a claw that only has a fractured tier 1 attack speed, and then I have a base claw that I want that fracture on, and I put them both into the recombinator. Before I put them into the recombinator, what do I do in order to make sure that it's like a higher likelihood? Do I have to craft something specifically on the...
Yeah, so you need the other suffix mod. In your instance, you need the other suffix mods to be the same. Whether they are crafted or rolled is irrelevant. So let's say you roll crit chance and craft dex on it.
Yeah.
Right? And then your other base has to have crit chance and dex either rolled or crafted and a free suffix. So there are 5 suffixes total.
Oh, that they explode each other.
Two of them overlap.
Right.
Yeah,
Because you want them to overlap, because if it says, yes, I'll take this mod, it yeets the other one because it can't have 2 of the same mod, but it's already decided how many mods it's going to put on the item. So every time it successfully takes one that's doubled, it makes it far more likely to take your other good mod, in this case fractured, over to the item that you want.
Yes. So like basically it's gonna be like what 50, if it keeps only one mod on the item, you'll be like 50% chance to get it. 33. But if it picks 2, then it's guaranteed. So it's gonna be, it comes up to 66% basically.
Yeah, I understand the logic.
No matter what.
I don't understand the math behind the 66%, but I understand the logic between like
because
having the mods
because if you have 3 mods on the item, when you recombinate, like total, the pool will have like the sum of all the mods. Like the fractured mod, the fractured item will have the fractured mod plus what you crafted, and the other item will have the same mod, the doubled mod, right, that you crafted.
Right.
So there's gonna be 3 total. It's gonna have like a chance of the final item have a chance of having either 1 or 2 mods, right? And if it has 2 mods, it's guaranteed. It's 100% chance in that case, right? To have the fractured mod, because there's only 2 mods available that the item can have.
Right.
But if it picks 1 mod, then it will be 33%. One out of 3 to get the fractured mod.
And so you want 2 suffixes, or would 3 suffixes be better if 2 of them are the same?
Nah, you just want 2.
Okay.
Like you want 1 on the 2 on the fractured item and 1 on the other one.
Ideally, you always want that 1 free empty suffix, so the idea is you want it to try and roll all 4 suffixes to come over to an item, which it can't do. And so you want it to yeet one of the doubles, because it has to. And then once it's successfully said, oh, I'm going to put 3 items on, and then it has to yeet one of the doubles, once that happens, you're guaranteed to move your fracture, right? Because there's only 3 left because you doubled up on them. If you don't double up on them, it becomes a lot of just flipping coins instead of putting it in your favor.
All right. I'm going to make sure to pay attention to that.
Just check Aaron's guide.
Yeah, true.
He explains everything, like absolutely everything.
He explains it better than we did, for sure.
It's a bit complicated, but you know, he explains everything. If you just take the time, you'll know how it works.
It is, and sometimes you just get unlucky too, right? Like you do everything right, you just have a bad streak, right? It's RNG in the end.
Yeah, like my shield. Like, oh my god, my current run in Gauntlet, my current run. It took me like, I don't know, 50 or 60 recombinators to get my shield done, and all I wanted was like two specific suffixes. Didn't need anything else. I just wanted 2 suffixes together on the same item. It took me 50 recombinators. Oh my god!
On like the first week of a league, I was trying to craft a triple essence wand. And I spent 160 wands. It took me 160 wands just to put 3 essences together.
Finally hit
unlucky.
I mean, 3 essences, it's not nothing, right? You're trying to make something kind of big, so.
I finally hit a triple temple fizz taken as Ellie helmet. It's got the fizz taken as fire, cold, and lightning, and then the lightning implicit, so it's got like 21% fizz taken as Ellie.
Yeah, that'll
it's on
take
a decent base.
That'll take a lot, though.
It didn't take that. It took like probably 20 attempts, I think.
That's
yeah, I
very
got pretty lucky on that. I've been pretty unlucky mostly with like, recombulators this league though. So finally having some good luck, and I moved a 100% global defenses from a grasping mail to a temple modded hybrid armor evasion chest
Ooh.
with an open prefix for Gravicious.
Nice.
Holy moly. Yeah.
Don't you normally want that on Val Regalia or something like that?
Depends on what you're making.
Yeah,
It's gonna go on my champion, so no.
Yeah, no. If you want to put stuff on a Valorgalia, something's going wrong.
no, I just because the 100% increased global defenses works so well for the ES pool, but I don't know
The
like
answer is
how
your CI.
important it is to have it on
It is the same.
on armor or
Well,
evasion.
he's an
That's not
armor evasion stacker, so
It's always good.
Yeah, no, what I'm trying to say is like if you're an armor evasion build, then you usually, I'm not sure, but I think you don't have as much increased armor and evasion as like an ES build has increased ES normally. So
But that would make it better. That would make it better for armor evasion then. Because I actually checked this because I was curious. The global defense stuff is just like it's basically just 100% increased armor, evasion, and ES.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you just added it with the rest. So it's not.
And technically ward.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Ward.
It doesn't state it.
If anyone
but-
uses that outside of a ward loop build, I've never seen it. I've only seen it in ward loop. You're either doing ward loop or you're not using ward at all. But technically it affects that too, just in case that's relevant.
Wasn't there this flat chaos damage thing with ward? Was it the gloves or something? There was something with flat chaos damage with Alberon's Warpath, also replica. But I don't know whether that's still something people do.
I don't think
to do with it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Mathil did something with it. But
I can't remember the name of them though.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. Let's go into the gauntlet mods because unlike previous gauntlets, we get modifiers depending on where you are in the game rather than like global modifiers. So the modifiers start from Act 1 through 5 with 20% less damage taken, 10% increased attack, cast, and move speed, 20% increased damage, and 1 additional projectile incrementally over like Act 6 to 10, so the second part, and then white maps, yellow maps, red maps, into Uber bosses where we finally have the most mods, which is 35% less damage taken, 20% turbo, 40% increased damage, 30% increased area of effect, and 2 additional projectiles. The first question do I have, how the fuck do I have to imagine 1 additional projectile on monsters? Does that work like on players? That the monsters like try to aim at you and then they shoot 1 projectile left and 1 right and then you don't get hit? Like just forks past you?
Probably, yeah.
or you're guaranteed to get overlapped because they can all do splash damage still, and you'll be right in the middle of 2 explosions.
Well, I mean, they'd have to hit something first. So if you're standing next to a wall, yeah, and there's fireballers or something like that. But yeah, like that's my first question is like, I've never seen, and I don't think anyone has seen 1 additional projectile on monsters, right? Like they always have like at least 2 additional. So how does 1 additional work? Like, does it guarantee, like, when they aim at you and they shoot, does it shoot like 1 right into your face and the other one forks off to the side or like branches off to the side? Or do they just try to like hit you with the middle stream and there is no middle stream?
That'd be funny.
They're almost certainly going to shoot exactly like we would.
Yeah. I think right? It's gonna be some. It's gonna be some.
They're just going to miss. They're going to aim at you and they're going to go.
Yeah, that's gonna be funny.
Thought about that. Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually.
With 1 push, just don't want to move. Then used to be always
stand still.
Stand still.
Yeah, just walk into that direction. No, but I'm really happy about that. At least I'm not gonna get like insta blasted by the lightning arrow dudes in lower prison.
Yeah, I mean this is gonna
dodge and get hit.
I mean this is gonna shotgun on walls. It's annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
Not as bad as LMP though.
Do you think this is gonna be like overall better for the game I mean, obviously, it's going to be
Yes.
easier for new people to get into it, and because it can slowly be eased into it. But for anyone who's already played Gauntlet, do you think it might like cause like a false sense of security where you feel like, oh, this is good, and then you go into the next part or the next higher map bracket, and then all of a sudden you take more?
I think people have to be careful about like before it didn't matter. For example, if you did a tier 10 map or tier 11 map, right? There's no difference. But besides the mods, right? The mods are a bit different. If you're running like brew maps, whatever, like you would do normally in Gauntlet, then it doesn't matter. But now it will actually matter. Like when you go up in, when you go to get through, when you kill Kitava, when you get to maps, when you get to yellow maps, it's gonna be you're gonna actually need to be a bit stronger before doing that.
Yeah.
Like if you're, like I think there might be people that just forget that this is a thing. Like normally, like say you're in like I don't know, you're just chilling like white in yellow maps, and then you go. Actually, what is the difference between yellow and red maps? It's not that big. Yeah, it's mostly between maps.
From yellow to red, there's like 5% increased damage difference only. Like it goes from 35% increased damage in yellows to 40% increased damage in reds. That's like the only difference between yellows and reds.
So it's mostly between acts and maps. Then
yeah, that and white to yellow is actually going from 20% AOE to 30% AOE. So.
That's irrelevant, I think. Doesn't matter.
You think? Okay. I thought that increases like, overlap, maybe.
I mean, we're used to playing Gauntlets with 70 AoE. It's gonna be a lot more chill.
Yeah, compared to the last Gauntlet with 70 AoE and 100% increase global
all Gauntlets had AoE. Yeah, all Gauntlets had AoE was 70.
Yeah, last one was rough, dude.
But like,
I think it'll be difficult in certain scenarios, and you're still going to have to play smart. But I don't think it'll be as bad as last league.
I mean, I think it's better like this because honestly, dying in the really hard gauntlets. Like I know the first really hard one was Expedition because it was after the nerfs and everything. It was like no determination, all that stuff. So like I remember that gauntlet. Because I remember which mob this was. Was it Surface's Extra? No, I don't remember exactly.
I think it was. Gauntlet was the 100% increase. Oh, in Expedition, I think there was Fizz's Extra, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I know that was one of the hardest one, was Expedition, because it was like right after the nerfs. And yeah, I remember that Gauntlet, to us getting into it, be like, yeah, I don't want to die. I don't want to have to go through acts again with these mods and with the current character power. I remember that very clearly, and that was the same thing with the previous one. The previous one was the same thing. It was like you don't want to die in these because going through acts is such a nightmare. But we won't have that now. So it's like if you die, at least you don't. Like when you die, you're already getting punished. You just have to go over, you lose your gear and stuff, and then you have to go through acts. And most of the time, like nobody wants to. You want to go through it once, and then you're like, all right, like fuck this. I don't have to worry about going through acts with like crazy mods and like it's just bad. I think people might just like if it's like this, people might just die and just go again, even if they're not like necessarily racers or they're not racing, whatever. They're just playing it for fun. They might just be like, yeah, okay, I'll go again.
It's not as punishing.
Like if you died like previous Gauntlet, for example, I'm pretty sure anybody who was not racing and died or just playing it for fun, I'm pretty sure nobody went. Like most people would not like go again with these mods because going through acts was such a nightmare. So I think it's better.
I actually didn't die last Gauntlet now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe while leveling once or something like that, but once I was in maps, I really stuck to it. Oh man, I did Templar Guardian with the... What was the skill? Absolution. Should I do that again?
No.
No?
No. Shouldn't have done it the first time.
Well, actually,
it was really decent. I ended up getting like I mean I didn't get any bosses because I instantly died when I walked into the poop boss, but I ended up I think rank 5 Templar overall with it just from levels.
I mean if it worked last Gauntlet, it's gonna work this Gauntlet. It's just easier in every way.
True.
Well, not every way. Again, the monster life, I mean not the monster life, the damage. Tank mods add difficulty that's like really hard for. That's like usually underestimated by players. They don't see the tank mods as something that's like threatening, but I think it is.
Best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, but
Suddenly you've got 40% less of it.
yes,
Yeah, it makes a big difference whether you can instantly kill monsters or whether you have to do like 2 rounds of damage dealing, whatever your damage
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
Dance around the packs, in between the packs. And especially for something like Harvest, man. Harvest was such a pain on that build last league.
It's gonna be even worse. Like, because there's like some piece of content in the game, you're not too worried about the damage it does if it dies fast, right?
Yeah.
But or if it gets frozen, stunned, like stuff will not get stunned as much. It won't get chilled or frozen as much if you're playing a build that actually can do that. So all ailments and like stuns, like you're gonna have a lot less of that. Like for Bone Shadow, for example, like last Gauntlet, even though it was like the hardest one, I was still able to re-level and map fast on it and pretty safely. Just because monsters get stunned, but if they with these mods, maybe they would not get stunned with the like lower level gears, levels of gears.
No, I mean that's again a really big point for the Saboteur because like you said, Saboteur mapping is maybe pain, but you can so easily like destroy harvest patches with the Saboteur.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like Sabon Harvest is really really dumb, but especially because you can
seismics and kite.
You don't even need to kite. You just sit behind walls, and they don't see you. They just sit there and do seismics.
Stand there.
Aren't they just instantly dead? Like you just throw down the seismics, you press the plot, and then the monsters spawn directly on top of the traps.
No, they don't even move. The thing is, like the way I do harvest is I pre-stack and then I open and I go behind a wall and I wait.
Yeah,
and especially if you use a decoy totem too, and then you just centralize them all right there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, if there's no walls to hide behind. It's pretty. It's a bit too easy on Sabo.
Yeah, and that combined with the extreme power of Harvest that basically necessitates Harvest. I mean, I don't know anyone who's doing not doing Harvest in Gauntlet. I mean, you kind of need to do it to get yourself geared. That makes Sabo so much more pleasant. Because I don't know, how is Harvest on Necro DD? I don't remember that to be pleasant.
It's fine, but it's still a lot worse than Sabo because you need Validity. If you have Validity, it's fine. The problem is like you don't have Validity for every plot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sabo doesn't care. Sabo has like nothing. You don't need Val skills. You don't need Rage. You don't need, like, on Seer, for example, it's the same thing. If I had Rage, it was fine. Just do any harvest plot and you're fine. But the same with DD. Like if you don't have Val DD, it's kind of sketch. Like Sabo doesn't even need to fight it anyway. So it's like completely on another level for how easy Harvest is compared to the other builds.
Are you gonna roll your maps at all? Do you think like the mods that we have are already enough, or is there? I mean, obviously there's some mods that are kind of dead mods that you don't really care about.
There's no reason to.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Basically, it's like so easy to sustain and generate maps.
I mean, there's some cases where I would roll them. That's only
for completion.
Completion and to farm, like Eldritch Currency maybe.
Right.
That's the only time I would do it.
When you say you're not going to roll them, does that mean at all?
Nah, blue. Obviously blue. Cool. Blue, yeah. But you don't need to arc them like ever, unless, like I said, unless you're farming Conch Exalts or Eldritch Currency, I think. Bigger pack size for more influence. What do you call it? Eldritch influence monsters.
Right.
I think that's the only thing I can think of that matters.
Is that also going to be in the Atlas strategy that you pursue? Like when you talk about the pack size, you're definitely going for the Eldritch pack size on the Atlas.
Yeah. Late. You go for it late, but you go for it eventually. Yeah.
How many stages for like one run of different Atlas trees would you?
It just depends. Like it just depends how it goes. Really, I mean, there's like.
Well, early on you go for the crafting, right? You go for the essences and the harvests, probably.
No, I don't go essences.
Not essences at all. Too rippy.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's just useless. There's like no piece of gear I'll craft with essences at all on this on seismic.
All right, specifically on seismic, but I thought essences were generally like useful to generate, like to make
Depends what
bases for
build.
recombinator
I think-
crafting.
Yeah, no, I think you only go essences for on builds that actually need some essence mods, like specific essence mods. Otherwise, there's no point. You just do harvest and recombinators.
Okay.
Also, yeah, they can be rippy, like especially when they're gonna have tank mods again. That's another problem.
Yeah, I mean, if I went for essences on the Atlas tree, I'd definitely skip the one with the 3 additional essences. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can't go full essence, then essence suck. They're not very good. And like you don't have time to like you have to choose basically on your Atlas. Like you at least for the race, for example, like you can't like spend too many points on random stuff that's like too much other way. And like essences are so many points if you want them to be worth it.
Yeah.
Like I took every essence in my normal solo self-found run, and it still took like 3 or 4 days before I had enough essences to properly craft some things.
I mean,
you don't
it's
even have that much time. Like,
yeah. It takes time. It takes some time. Like it's good if when you play in the game normally, like in the league, whatever. It's pretty good. Like I did it this league because I played Slayer and I need essences. Like you need cropped essences. But if you don't need anything specific from essence mods, I don't think there's a point to play go essences early at least. And they're really good for like there's some builds. Like for example, I think Lightning Strike you really want essences obviously because they're really good for your weapons.
Yeah, for real.
I think but obviously like EA and stuff like this, like anything with the bow with the plus skill, like then it's dreads. You go essences.
Right.
But besides that, yeah, this is not that good. I think they're really good. The thing with essences, they're really good early game. Like when you first get like before maps or when you first get to maps, they're good. The problem is like by the time you can get enough points on your Atlas that you actually get a lot of them and a lot of high tier essences. By that time, you don't need them anymore.
Yep.
And you will start needing again once you get like fractures or you wanna do some big recombinations, etc. But that's late game. So like they're really good like super early, mid game to late game they're kind of bad, and then very late game they become good again. That's how I see essences.
What about Expedition and like Rogue?
I mean, I heard Rogue got nerfed for stuff like shields.
He's still pretty good. It's not quite as easy to craft like really GG things, but you could definitely make some decent things, especially for recombinating.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Expedition takes too much time.
yeah,
does.
so
it's the
much
same
time.
thing again.
Yeah.
Right? It
It
takes
does. Yeah.
by the time you've got enough currency to rogue craft something good.
I mean, you need logbooks. If you don't have
Is that
logbooks, you can't do anything with Expedition. That's the thing. Like Rogue doesn't make you any items until you get a logbook, at least one.
Yeah. You do need a lot of currency for
Like,
Rogue
Tujen
to
is
make
nice.
anything.
Yeah, casual Tujen I think is really good because you can get like especially when you first start progressing because you won't have enough chaos, you won't have enough chances, you won't have enough alchemies when you first progress your Atlas. So early, like some casual Tujen is good, but like Rogue is no. Rogue you need to actually commit to Expedition to use him. I think.
Gwenon is really nice though for early high level crafting bases. You can use in your harvest to gear up early.
Yeah, she's nice for that. The problem is like you need. I mean, I guess the nice thing the Sentinel, you get a lot of reroll currency like randomly without even doing Expedition.
Abyss is better, says Zibi in chat. That's
Yeah,
true.
Abyss
With Abyss, you get the +3 level on the abyssal depths, but
The thing is like you need to invest in your tree a bit on your Atlas tree. Like Gwenon, you can kind of just not even spec Expedition, just get some and you just use the struggles until you see the one item you're interested, one base you're interested in.
And in order to get like an 83 base, you'd still have to do like a level 80 or 79 map, right? With Abyss in order to benefit from the +3. to get. To
I mean, you want a base for 86 chests normally. That's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, so in order to get an 86 chest, that's what I'm saying from Abyss, you'd still have to be doing tier 15 or tier 16 maps, whereas in order to get an 86 base from Gwenin, you just need to be level 95, right?
No, 90 or 91.
90, 91.
I think 91.
It's 90. He caps out at 90.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 91 you're more likely to get the 6, but I'm not 100% sure.
I only know that you can get 86 at 90. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
you
some
can.
of
Yeah,
it's more
yeah,
likely.
you can at 90. Yeah, but I think 91 is actually is actually a bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering correctly, but that's what I remember at least.
So the thing why I'm asking this whole Atlas tree strat question is because you have to have a very precise idea of what you want at which stage in the game, because there's not a lot of room for experimentation, because your access to Orbs of Unmaking will be limited, right? You're gonna need a lot of regrets for your character probably.
You're talking for like in general or just for
Just
race?
in general, I think people like to spec things on. I'm just thinking you have a very limited amount of supplies for the unmakings to refund your
early
Atlas tree.
on, but makings are like not that hard to like. You get a decent amount just dropping. You can get them from betrayal. You can just turn your regrets into them. So it's,
Yeah,
like,
undoubtedly
not
you're
that
gonna have a bunch, but like there is a limit to how often you can refund your Atlas passive tree. Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
early on, yeah, for sure. So yeah, you have to be a bit. You have to plan out like early on what you do and like when do you respect what maybe. Like yeah, you definitely don't want to spec stuff like early that you're gonna respect like I don't know like 10 levels or something.
Yeah, so we're skipping essences completely because they're not worth it.
Yeah, there's only. I mean, unless again.
Yeah, unless you're playing a build where you really, really want the mods.
I think I'll still take the first like 3 just to get a random essence here and there.
Well, that's in general just
That's
good
like
for
3
like
points.
yeah.
And it's not really high investment. You're not gonna get like the super GG ones every time, but you'll still get a couple. And like what
It's
I'm
an
planning on
additional
doing
pack
is
also.
yeah, and then like kind of beeline for the Carrick missions straight up the middle, and then take some June. I think that's like my super early.
I think June is the
idea.
first thing to get. It's like 3 points from the very start. It's really good. I would always take June first.
June first.
Yeah, I think almost always. It's like it's right there. It's like 3 points and boom, you start building up missions.
If you get a pair of boots from Jun early and just like get onslaught,
Oh yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
like they're massive.
June is huge, especially with your combinators. Like you can recombinate like
Oh, yeah.
all the stuff.
Or a nice ailment focus helm.
Yeah, it's
for
like
a
every
stab
build
or
needs.
DD.
Every build
Endurance
needs.
charge rings, like everything.
Gravicious chest. Yeah.
True. Yeah, and the onslaught boots is a really good point because you can't roll onslaught easily on Abyss Jewels anymore. You gotta get it from the boots or from something.
Exhibit's got a good point though. Most trappers will be using deer stalkers.
Yeah, but you might not have the stalkers. You can't count on that. I'm not counting on this. I dropped them in practice. I'm not using them. If I get them in the race, I'll use them obviously. But if I'm not gonna plan on them. I don't think you should plan around.
I mean, deer stalkers are mid tier anyway for the trappers because in endgame you're gonna use shaper gloves, right?
No. You always use. You can always use these stalkers if you want. I'm not gonna use them personally. Like I'm not gonna boss with them, obviously. But
I was gonna say
you
for
can.
bossing, you'd use a regular pair of boots? Yeah.
Not always. Like it depends. Like I'm doing it. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. If you're doing the blade trap stuff, then you don't need deer stalkers, even for bossing.
I mean, deer stalkers does give you trap throwing speed, which is pretty
it's really good. It's nice. It's nice, but like you get chill immunity if you use rare boots. That's the biggest thing, and you get the implicits on boots are really good for traps.
Yeah, Fizz is extra.
Yeah, you get Fizz chaos.
Poison. Yeah.
No, I think it's only faster poison is good for some fights, but I think I'd rather go action speed, regardless.
Technically, in like a normal league, you'd always end up replacing it and using trap gloves. I just don't think they plan on it in Gauntlet because, like, How are you going to get your hands
Yeah.
on a good pair of Shaper gloves and then also roll those Shaper gloves to have like life and resistance or suppression and
it takes
supported
a
by
while
trap?
to roll them. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's even in trade. I don't know if it's ever worth. I mean, that would be the last thing I would do. Even if I played trade, a trapper trade, I would still do this last because you can just have Deerstalkers. It's basically free, and it's like it's like comparable to Shaper gloves. It's the same.
Like
But
you go up
It's
like
better actually. No,
12%.
it's better.
You go up 10% when you change the gloves in damage, but it's only 10% off your exsanguinate, which is like this tiny portion of your damage.
Yeah, so
that
basically
gives
you lose
split
damage. You lose damage then because the throw speed is more than 10%.
speed. Yeah. So like it's not
Yeah.
in trade league. I still do it if I'm going to play a trapper. It's still going to end up with those gloves on, but they're not a rush job at all.
Yeah.
You can also roll it to have like, well, I guess no, never mind. I was gonna say you can have it like have multi, but you wouldn't do that on poison. You do that on just straight crit.
Yeah.
Seismic.
I roll them for like suppression and life and the thing, and that way I get my boots back, which is good. But it's like a lot. It's a lot of essences.
The
It's
biggest thing
basically
is
just a ton of essence crafting. Like it's not that easy to make.
The thing about Deerstalkers is just they feel so awful in town.
They really do.
Hey,
is it 15%
be
base?
in town.
15, and then you get 15 when you throw a trap.
Yeah, it's like you said, don't be in town. Just
Don't be in
put
town.
it up in. Yeah.
True. Town is
Map goes in the map hole. That's
Yeah. Well, also you can just if your hideout is made properly, you won't have to walk anyway.
True.
Yep.
True. Let's talk a little bit more about the tree. Are you going to exclude mechanics? You're probably going to exclude mechanics, right? Like almost all of them.
I'm gonna ditch at the start. I still keep a lot of stuff because you still want metamorph, you still want catalyst. So I don't block metamorph, I don't block blight until I have.
And early on,
the
you're probably
oils.
also going to go into stream of consciousness.
Yeah, like ASAP. Basically blocking. Well, I mean, I had the tree somewhere so we can look at it. Usually I'll always block ritual, obviously, like as soon as I can.
It's too rippy.
Like ritual is
or
nice.
just-
No, it's not worth it. It's not worth the time. Too much time. Like it's good early when you first get to map. You do the ones you find, but then as soon as you get to you can block them. Block them. Like ritual, I'm blocking. Delirium, I'm blocking. Heist, I'll be blocking too. And then I'll block Legion. But Legion is like a bit later.
Blight probably as well, or
Blight, I
need
keep
the
it
oils.
until as soon as I have my oils, I block it. Basically, they always have planned. Because you'll still get some like from Sentinel even after you block it. It's like, do you get enough?
honestly, you get some of everything from Sentinel.
Yeah, you get a bit of everything in Sentinel. You're gonna end up with catalysts and oils, but you still wanna make sure you have what you need in time.
And Metamorph you wouldn't block because when you trigger Metamorph, that's a lot of extra monsters in the map, right? But you wouldn't do the Metamorph encounter itself.
No, it doesn't add monsters.
Oh, it just
Maps.
puts tags on the monsters.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
only
it added some.
No, I don't block it because I need catalyst. I like
catalyst. Yeah.
It
I'm gonna
technically
advise.
adds mobs when you summon the Metamorph. You can use that for like beyond tricks and stuff. Summon the Metamorph on a blight to get more beyond mobs and stuff. But none of that's relevant for Gauntlet.
Mm.
Would you do Metamorphs on every build, or is it just like a thing where you're like on Sabo, I just throw down the trap, spawn the Metamorph, and it instantly dies anyway?
Only on a build that's strong against it. Like I would do it on Slayer because you just stun it anyway. But I wouldn't. Yeah, I would do it on a build that has good damage against. Has good single target.
I always feel very safe with Metamorph, even in Gauntlet. Like last time, I don't know which Gauntlet it was, but like when I did Spectral Shield Throw, Corrupting Fever, Bleed on Gladiator, I only died to a Metamorph because of a lack of judgment. Like poor judgment, I put the wrong monster in. But if you know what the monster mods do and stuff like that, I always feel like They're pretty doable. They're not as scary as people make them out.
I mean, I'm a big pussy when I make my metamorphs. I don't put anything. I see a damage mod, I don't put it in. I see unless it's like, I'm very, very careful with my metamorphs.
So you go all the way right, all the white monsters basically.
No, I just click the catalyst and I try to fill it a bit with whatever is safe, and the rest, safe stuff.
Yep.
There's
Like,
certain abilities that they do that can wreck you, though.
Yeah,
Like the
there's some things that
volatiles
just.
and-
Well, the volatiles are not that bad, but anything that works with additional projectiles is insta rip. Like,
it's like anything that says soul, you just dodge. Anything that says like volatile, you just dodge. Anything that says, anything that says it comes from a cannibal, you also just say no.
anything that says mortar, you instantly die.
Like or like in the there's like some of the things. Backburn is one that you never want to put in.
Right, that's the torch toss thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Backburn, and there's another one like that.
I died to it in the first China race, actually.
I think Soul Eruption is also one you don't usually want.
Yeah, that one is fine actually. I put it in one of my metamorphs because it was like, it's catalyst. I'm just gonna put it in. If you just pay attention to it, just
and move in the right moment, yeah.
But I mean, obviously I would still avoid it if possible. So all the soul stuff. If it says soul, it's bad probably.
I just know like people like Zizaran are like in general they hate metamorph. Zizaran doesn't even do metamorphs in like regularly league as far as I know.
No, he does. Yeah, I've seen him do metamorphs on his EA guys.
Yeah, good EA champion ballista, but there you don't really see the monster at all. You just wait like 2 screens away while the ballistas kill it.
Yep. That's why any build that's good for it, you do it. That's why it's nice to have a build that can do metamorph, because then you don't have to do heist. Not having to do heist is good.
Unless you need a specific cluster jewel, then you have to do heist still.
I don't know how good heist is for clusters. I don't think it's that good. I think it's better off just
Sentinels also drop clusters.
Yeah, but I mean not that much.
But yeah, the chances of you getting the right one will probably be
You just have to farm delirium.
I don't do heist at all, but I'm pretty confident that heist is the best place to get delirium jewels.
Yeah,
specifically the grocery list quest.
Grocery quest and random demolition rares. Like, because I remember when I did the Absolution Guardian last gauntlet, I did heist specifically for that purpose, because you do need a Blessed Rebirth medium jewel, like medium minion cluster, and it does have to be, I believe, at least level 68, so you can't do it from foothills farming. You need 68 to be able to spawn the Blessed Rebirth passive. And I guess, never got that. It took so long.
I think you have to do both. You have to farm delirium probably and do heist if you want clusters. But I mean, I hate having to get clusters. Like,
ideally pick a build that doesn't need them.
I think the only times I've used clusters like ever was back when deep cuts was a thing. If you guys remember the +1 impale cluster.
1 impale, yeah, I still have some.
Yeah. And the other time I think was when I just randomly got perfect clusters in, like, I think it was Ultimatum Gauntlet. I just randomly got like the perfect Fizz large, and I got the Onslaught medium with Warcries, I think. And that was the second time that I used clusters.
I don't think I
hate clusters.
Used clusters in a build since they introduced masteries.
Shit, I still use a cluster setup in every build.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need life.
Trade Balor, yeah.
Masteries just made me go from having double cluster setups everywhere to having single cluster setups everywhere. It's like, oh damn, I want some points back for masteries.
Yeah, that's true. The point pressure on the tree is insane now. There's so many good things to pick up.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, on Julius to begin with, it was never good, because outside of Deep Cuts era, it was never good, because everything on like Julius side of the tree was like it's really efficient. You have everything there. Everything you want is just right there. You don't really need the clusters. I feel like clusters are more a thing for builds that if you play a build on an ascendancy or a class that doesn't have everything like right there. you kind of have to, like, if let's say you play, I don't know, you play you play something like, I don't know, like a Jaws caster, and you have to go all the way up to the witch to get some of the stuff you need, or all the way to shadow.
Yeah.
And then it feels kind of bad. Then you getting clusters would probably be better.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
minion builds need clusters.
Minion builds that just run out of nodes to take.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wasn't running out of nodes to take. I was running out of nodes to take to scale my damage, but I didn't need to scale my damage. But like, I really specifically on the absolution needed the 4-second invulnerability after spawning the minions. Otherwise, they just instantly get deleted. I mean, but that was also last gauntlet. That's why I'm tinkering with the idea of playing it again this gauntlet, because last gauntlet was the 100% increased damage and the 70% increased AoE and whatnot. And like this gauntlet is relatively tame in comparison. So I was like, maybe the same build will do a lot better, but other builds will also do better. So in the end, might as well go for a good build instead.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I was hoping for you guys to tell me, but maybe we can go over the different classes. Since it's a class-based gauntlet again, like, what do you think are the top things? I mean, cArn already specified that pretty much the DD Necro and the Seismic Sabo are going to be the two most potent builds if you're shooting for a win.
For a win, yeah, the only builds.
Yeah, Seismic has taken rank 1. In my opinion, unless someone gets, pretty lucky.
I mean, the thing is, too many people are starting Seismic for it not to be rank 1, right? Like, even if, like, 3 of the top racers die, then there's still enough people running Seismic that, like, some of them will get through. And
so many people are going Seismic, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of the top 50 is Seismic. Gonna be like Slam Gauntlet all over again.
Does it make sense to play Seismic on anything else but Saboteur?
Yes, you just play Sabo and then you get gear for what you actually want to play, and that's better than playing whatever else.
I don't know. Ask Exhibit. He's been practicing on Ascendant.
Yeah, Ascendant is the one that comes to mind, because I remember, like, I think the first or the second gauntlet where Seismic was really big, I'm Exile won on Seismic Sabo and then put all the gear onto the Ascendant and then won Ascendant right after.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I like the fact that you can just do that when you're like done on one character, put all the gear onto another character and then win that one as well.
Well, I mean,
if you're that good of a racer to where you can farm gear, do all the bosses, and then level another character.
I remember doing that on Slams.
And get back there, then, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, you probably deserve it to win over the people who've been playing the other class from the start.
Yeah. Because everybody, I mean...
Everyone starts from 0.
Yeah. And yeah, there's nothing stopping anyone else from doing it. So, it's fair game as far as, I think about it.
But yeah, so we got Witch and Shadow covered, and then you can do Seismic on other builds. Probably you could do it on Ranger, you could do it on Ascendant. But if you want to win Duelist, Marauder, or Templar, what would be the top picks for that this time around? Do you think anyone has a shot getting a Lightning Strike, Helix, or something like that going with Claws?
If someone lucks into like an Omni playing Lightning Strike as a champion, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
you could make a really good build. Like if you get like Omni melding by like chance.
Yeah, I mean, 1 in 50 people will get that from their Eater, right?
The problem is you need Omni and melding on two different bosses. Like you have to farm Exile and then you have to farm Eater. It's just
it's gonna be a pain. Yeah.
So if you had to, if you say you had to farm Ashes and melding, it's a lot more realistic.
True, because it's the same boss.
The same boss. Yeah.
Oh wait, melding drop. I still don't have it down. Melding drops from Searing.
No, Eater.
Oh, and Omni drops from Searing. Yeah, no, see, I missed that. I messed that one up. Right.
Also, people might just die farming Exarch.
True.
So You can't really die to normal Ether, but you can die to normal Exarch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ball face is really
Yeah.
cruel.
So
I wouldn't say it's a good plan going in, but if someone lucked into it, then they could potentially.
I mean, if you want to play
Well.
Witch or Sabo, then yeah, that's probably the next best plan. You just play a duelist farm for Omni melding. I mean, maybe. Let me think. Do you even need melding?
It definitely helps. Doesn't hurt to
It would
have
help. You could do like res swaps on like shields and run purities, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for the bosses, maybe you probably don't. I'm just thinking, like, yeah.
Like you could make
Also,
it
you
work
need
without
yeah,
it.
and you need perseverance. It's not common either.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's why, like, for the win, this is not happening. You're not winning on the duelist doing this, and not winning on the duelist doing Slayer either, because it's the same thing. You need ashes to even consider bossing, and
The stars
Well,
need to
yeah.
align. Yeah.
But for someone, it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna farm like both their quest Exarch and their quest Eater.
Yeah,
and
but-
they're gonna have both.
yeah, but is it
And-
gonna be someone good enough to
Yeah.
And perseverance and not die. Yeah, that's
And I mean
It's a lot
that's
of
not all.
lining
That's
up.
just the uniques. Like if you actually want to pull off an Omni build, you're also gonna have to craft some
And a good
godlike
call.
attribute items in order
and
to
all
make it
the
worth
other
it.
gear to go with it.
Yeah.
You know.
1200 Omni.
But I mean,
So
yeah,
you can
like-
actually function.
for duelists, to win duelists is probably the best play anyway. Like you try to
You don't-
farm it, and if you don't get it, then you just YOLO on.
You don't think just explosive arrow champion?
That build's garbage.
Thank God. I also think it's trash. I also think it's so bad, but people love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's safe. It kills
I'm
around
glad
the
to
corner.
hear. I'm glad to hear you didn't get baited. Thinking this thing is good.
Oh no, I did get baited. I played it.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
I played it thinking this
Oh,
looks really
no.
good. Everyone's real excited, and it
no.
was so
Oh,
bad.
no. Oh no.
I think it's really
Not like
good if
this.
you like playing HCSSF.
No, it's not really good. It's so bad.
Why does this
Okay.
play at every league then?
Okay,
It's-
EA is insanely good mechanically for bossing. The problem is what before.
Yeah, you have to get there. It's
You have to
just-
fucking get there.
Ugh.
It's so, like
Ugh.
like the mapping. It's like imagine you're playing. It's like the mapping is like even worse than Sabo. And Sabo already
yeah.
feels like Sabo's already bad.
especially early. It's like before you have your bow and your
Yeah, like it's like you'd have maybe if you reroll into EA, maybe, but no, there's no shot. If you play duelist, you just either play champ or slayer gear and farm the eldritch uniques, and then do bosses with them. This is the best bet.
Fair.
But yeah, it's gonna be rough.
it's gonna be pain. Yeah,
That's why I
Farm, like-
decided to not play.
I farmed like 50 plus eaters to get my melding.
Yeah, I think how many did I take? Yeah, it took me like 40 maybe.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, well, melding is more common. But like, if you want the amulet, I've heard of people farming
It's-
200
yeah.
and not getting
Yeah,
it.
that's
not
more
something
rare.
that you
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
don't
heard
go
about
into the
this.
gauntlet and think I'm going to farm this amulet and then I'm going to do bosses because you may be stuck doing those bosses forever.
Yeah, but I mean that's still a play. Like you said, you can still say, okay, this is I'm playing duelist, so I'm just gonna do that. If I get it good, I can boss. If I don't get it, then whatever. Because that's your best shot anyway. Like, you're not gonna full clear if you don't do that, most likely. So
There's
you have
no
to try.
strat that doesn't involve any of those uniques that you could see take the win.
An
I mean,
actual win.
if nobody- No,
Not
actual
the actual
win.
win, the class.
the class win.
You're not gonna actually win as a duelist anyway.
I mean, maybe. I don't want to say yeah, but I can't think of another duel. I don't think there's no. Yeah, I don't think so.
I hate
mean-
that EA champion will probably win the class. but
Yeah, that's what I'm
they're
thinking. I'm
probably
thinking like, what is the best build to actually kill the bosses outside of Omni stuff or Ashes is probably just EA.
I mean, you could make a decent lightning striker without Omni, but it
That's
takes
you need
some
to
really
heist.
nice gear, and
You need to heist, and if you don't have melding, you can't even use that neck. So it's yeah.
It's still EA. As much as I hate EA, I think it's such a trash build to play, especially on Champion. It's passable as an Elementalist in softcore, but it has to win the class. Like it's with 0 gear, it's probably the best shot.
Well,
yeah, with no gear, probably right.
I mean, yeah, I think you can do something on Julius with just melding, not Omni. Like if you only need melding, then it's more realistic. I think you can do something. You can probably do like I would be okay doing bosses with just melding on a Slayer. I think.
Do you think any duelists will full clear?
If on the champ build, yeah. If a
think
good player plays duelist, maybe.
Yeah, Al
But-
could clear, I suppose.
Yeah, if Al gets it, I think he'll clear.
Hmm.
Or
Well,
maybe
cares.
just a reroll.
If he cares, like didn't last league he almost full cleared, but then he just kind of stopped caring on the feared or something like that.
No, you just got slammed.
Yeah, he got
That's all.
Cortex slammed, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah.
I mean, if I got Cortex slammed, I also would just say afterwards, I just don't care. I didn't actually care.
True.
How about Marauder? Because like last time, didn't Ziz get like a super last minute Marauder win?
I think that was 2 leagues ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been the gauntlet before last one.
Marauder, I don't even know what the hell you're supposed to do on Marauder.
Probably something chieftain.
You can play
What?
a DD chieftain, but
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's so painful.
I was thinking
The level,
about it.
though.
I was thinking about this.
That's what I did in the last gauntlet. I got to level 90. It can be done. It is not an enjoyable experience.
Can you not do like farm alt quality cremation and do like a cremation chieftain?
No.
No,
It's so rare, dude. It has a weighting of like 10. It's it's super rare. You're not getting that.
I think people
Plus,
been
you
playing.
need ashes. You need ashes and alt quality. You don't
Yeah,
really
right,
need the alt
ashes.
quality unearth, but it skyrockets your damage. So that's 2 super.
I mean,
rare
okay,
gems.
it depends how fast you map and can get the bosses. Like for example, on Duelist, I think you can farm a lot of Exarchs or Eaters, whatever. Like I could see it, but the problem is like on whatever Marauder build that's gonna be using this, you're gonna be so slow. There's no shot. Like on Duelist, you can farm them really fast. If you go Slayer Bone Shatter, you'll farm a ton of sets like really fast, especially with mods being easier like this. But I don't see it on a slow build to farm ashes or stuff like this.
Yeah, but then you also need, well, like Catmaster was saying, the alt quality cremation. Then you also need that specific.
Yeah, I mean
gem.
that's doable though. That is fine. My problem is like it's on a Marauder and on a slow build. On a faster build, I don't think that's even realistic. Like I could see if within 10 days I could see myself, for example, just playing Slayer, farming ashes, farming the alt qualities, and go. Maybe even melding. I think 10 days it's 100% doable. But you need a fast build at least. That's not a fast build.
You could apparently, from what Vero was saying, ascendancy swapping won't be locked this time.
Yeah, because it was just like every gauntlet outside of the one that was supported by GG.
Yeah.
They really only lock ascendant. You really only have to lock ascendancy if it's an ascendancy race, right?
Because it was a GG event basically, and GG events are always.
Yeah, they did it last league, and they did it the league before where they were giving out demis, I believe.
No, that was the only time, only for demis. That was because of demis that it was ascendancy locked.
No, I'm pretty sure they did it last league too, because they did like MTX raffles at the last minute.
Not sure about that. There's one we didn't talk about. That was the fire trap build on Chieftain. That's a thing, right? Dr. Dexter was the one
Yeah,
of the big
Fire
players
Trap
for
is,
that.
again the same thing. It's slow, but yeah, actually, that's probably the other build that's good. Yeah, Chieftain
Yeah.
DD, Chieftain Fire Trap.
Fire Trap will probably take it.
Any
Probably.
non-chieftain marauders have a shot at it?
Juggernaut Bone Shatter.
Elementaling, Jug, RF.
No, I mean, ironically, you can play Bone Shadow Jug, but I don't think it's killing all bosses. I think it's no shot. It's hard enough on the Slayer, like on the Jug, it's not happening.
Yep.
Shield Crush, Zerker.
Maybe.
Mm,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe actually. Maybe.
Shield Crush. Ugh.
Shield Crush is solid. Just feels like garbage to me. I never liked the way it felt.
Yeah,
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 played it
I mean,
in
I don't like
1v2.
Shield Crush. I think Shield Crush is not very good, but the good thing about Shield Crush is that you use the shield, so you get to wear a shield. That's the best thing about Shield Crush.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty low bar.
Nah, it's easier
true,
to make
though.
a good shield than it is to make a good one-hand weapon.
Well,
It
the
is.
problem. The problem though is like you use a shield, but your shield has to have like I don't know, big like huge prefixes. So it's gonna be really hard for you to have good prefixes and a shield. That's the thing. The good thing on the shields are suffixes, the max stress, suppression, whatever. But you can't get that on Shield Crush. I don't think. It's gonna be too hard to get a shield that's good.
Maybe with recombinators and a little bit.
Yeah,
of luck.
like in time you can with recombinators, but
I'm just saying it's more likely this league than it is on any other previous leagues to get a
yeah,
good
for
shield.
sure. To get a shield that deals damage and gives you the good stuff from shields, yeah, for sure.
Okay, moving.
Yeah, I could say that. I'm expecting if Strand is playing, I'm expecting him to load up the Shield Crush Zerker.
I could see Shield Crush.
Yeah.
I hate playing it myself. I would never. It's an awful skill, but it works.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is-
relatively
it is.
quick.
It is awful. Yeah, the mapping is good on Shield Crush. Shield Crush is really good as good clear, good mapping speed. The only problem with Shield Crush, it's mechanically terrible for bosses. It's so bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's also one of those builds where if you like move to dodge to not take damage, you
Yeah,
have, like,
it's like,
zero damage.
If I were to boss with Shield Crush, I'll just play Bone Shadow, just better. There's no reason, like, it's just better. The only advantage Shield Crush has is like if you can somehow make a shield, a big armor shield, a big damage shield with like max res or suppression, whatever, then yeah, then it's then you have an advantage because you get some max res. That's about it.
Fair. Moving on to Templar. Who takes the Templar? What takes the Templar? Is it really only like a Righteous Fire competition or?
No. RF is
RF
big
is-
copium.
Yeah,
on this.
I wouldn't want to boss with RF in this. No.
Yeah, the bossing isn't too great with RF, but like it's really comfy for map clearing and with
It's not though. You need a lot of levels, and you need it's like people play that build, play this Inquis build with like end game gear, like fully decked out, like mage blood and everything.
It's really
the
good
boots.
when you have the gear.
Yeah, but you need the gear. If
And
you don't have all the
even in a
gear,
even in a normal trade league start, it's powerful enough to exist and farm you the gear, so it's like a really good start. But it really is only just powerful enough to farm you the gear before we add mods on. Like,
Yeah.
only just.
Yeah, you're not gonna want a boss on it. It's gonna be
And then-
super pain champ.
I just know that last league people because I looked at the Templar ladder last gauntlet because I was playing the Absolution Guardian, and the people I was competing with, I believe, were mostly Righteous Fire something. I mean,
What's his name? Tati
He's-
Antel usually does pretty well with a totem build on Templar.
True.
I think he's playing Stormburst totems this
Yeah,
league.
Stormburst totems are actually really good. He played that last gauntlet and got pretty far with it.
Yeah, he died to Eater because he didn't know the mechanics, and he died to the not popping the
no.
bubbles, and the thing blew up.
Not
I was
energizing
like,
the spheres.
no. I was like, no. How do you die to that, dude? Come
Ask
on.
Stillmage. He knows.
Because you
my-
never fail. Yeah, because you never fail it. So like, you're like, what happens when I fail it? I don't know. Boom, resurrect.
It's my favorite Maven line. Just the delivery on my champion. Energize the spheres.
Spheres.
And every time, like, I'm not a champion, I'm a slayer, stop!
Disrespecting cArn.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, there was Pox made it to level 90 in Gauntlet last league with Righteous Fire on Inquisitor.
If you want to just make it to 90, sure, you could do RF all day.
Yeah, that's true. If
It's a
your goal
safe
is just to
play.
get to level 90, then
It's tanky for mapping. It maps pretty quickly. And you don't have much to worry about. But if you want to,
RF?
yeah, but if you want to kill any type of
Really?
bosses, man,
I wouldn't think he maps that fast early on. I thought it would be kind of slow, actually.
I guess it's
Maybe-
steady. It's consistent. It can be fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it, so I'm not 100% sure. I just, like, from knowing how the skill works and scales, my first impression is it would be kind of slow.
And you really want Maven, but yeah, exactly what Exhibit's saying.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm
You
saying.
want
It is-
Maven boots.
yeah, if you have the boots and everything, then yeah, you're popping up the high level gems and you have the boots. Yeah, of course it's fast, but that's what I'm saying. Like before that, what do you do?
True.
You just walk and just wait for monsters to like slowly die next to you. Like, that sounds awful.
Yeah. True.
With
I guess-
small AoE too, because you don't have any AoE anywhere. I don't see it.
Inquiz DD could put up a show, I suppose.
The problem with that is it's gonna be like there's tank mods on the maps, and like don't these builds like they have a lot less damage. Like
That's-
Chieftain DD
yeah.
and Chieftain and Inquis DD have a lot less damage. Than
Yeah, you have
Necromancer.
no damage scaling because the only damage scaling you really have for DD on Inquiz is Augury. And you're
Yeah,
not going to want to be that close to the bosses anyway. So that's really kind of non-existent. And you're not going crit.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Inquis it's like last time. Last time you asked me the same thing for Templar, and I was like, I don't know if you Templar, good luck.
Yeah, no,
like
I'm
you-
just looking at the ladder from last time. So Tati was actually ahead of me with the Stormburst totems. I was, in fact, finished rank 5 Templar with the Absolution Guardian. But the top 3 were all Inquisitors, and that was the first one was a Val DD, the second one was Fire Trap, and the third one was actually Spark. Spark
Oh,
Inquisitor.
Spark Inquis actually is probably not bad. Oh yeah, actually that's a. I think that you could play that actually.
I feel like Spark is going to have like 0 boss damage. I feel like if you're just trying to
I
get
mean,
to 90, maybe.
The thing is, you're going to the bosses with gear. You might be fine. And the thing is, like, Spark can actually progress. They're gonna Inquis.
And
Like,
Spark
you
has
can-
an easy time farming maps, that's for sure.
Yeah, like you can actually
Yeah.
kind of progress.
I feel bad because I feel like the answer is actually going to be Righteous Fire. And
There's
I hate
no
it.
way.
but-
There's no way. I'd rather be Spark any day of the week. Like I played Spark Slayer, and it was fine. You know what? Like I'm sure on the Ascendancy that actually has something going for Spark, it'll be a lot better. And then on the right side of the tree, it'll be a lot better. It would be enough to like do stuff in Gauntlet. I think there's no way RF is the play. I would actually say Inquis Spark with the little I know about like temporal builds in general.
I mean, there was a decent amount of people playing Righteous Fire, just not very high. I think the highest Righteous Fire was, Pox with level 90. Unless, of course, like one of the Fire Trappers was running Righteous Fire.
What did Viznis play last Gauntlet? I remember he played some. Was he RF? I know he played some Inquis build that had, like just, he just face tanked everything. What was he playing
Business?
with?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Simply,
VIZNIZ or what?
The Viznis, Simply maybe is his name on Fury.
Simply, SIMPLY. See,
Or it's visitor. I don't know what's his
Simply Gamer.
account
Oh
name.
yeah, that was the rank 1 Inquisitor with DD.
It was DD, okay. It was DD's DPS, but it was just tanking. Okay.
5 keystone build. Call to arms, Ellie overload, divine shield, glancing blows, zealots oath.
Yeah, like he just played accepted the fact they had no depth. I mean, at least he was playing DD, so you could farm, kinda. I don't know, like everything sounds painful on Templar. I'd rather just do Spark because Spark's probably gonna be more fun. That's it.
Yeah.
And like Spark, you can get gear probably, pop off the bosses. Just try, just to be a gamer. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree that with Spark you probably have the highest rate of gaining XP and generating wealth to actually craft gear.
Like if you can play Slayer Spark in normal league and just run straight to red maps and it's fine, then I'm sure Spark and Quiz will be fine in Gauntlet with these mods.
No way. Wait a second.
Oh shit.
Oh, we lost him.
He's a B. He's a B. It's a B. Has to be a B.
Gonna destroy the whole house.
Oh,
This is
actually, it was
content.
like
I don't know,
stormy raining outside, and I just saw some snowflakes flying around. I was like, "What the
Oh.
fuck?"
Snowflakes.
Well, it's either snowflakes or it's like pollen from trees, like
Dude, what
tree
happened to him,
seeds
dude?
flying around.
Bro, it's July.
Did you see what
Yeah, that's
happened
what
to
I'm
him?
saying. That's why I'm like, but there's definitely like white flakes flying around.
Or
In between
ashes.
the-
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's on fire.
Dude, that's they snowflakes did a number on him. What the hell?
Let's hope there's just something wrong with my glasses. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Okay, last but not least, Ascendant. We talked about all the other classes, but
It's
What
not
does
just
the
me, is
sign
it? He looks.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Like,
Cat,
what-
you're anonymous now.
did you snowflakes? Dude,
Oh.
like, they did a number on you.
yeah, dude, that's like my camera doing the weird autofocus.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, now it works.
Oh boy.
Flakes. Yeah. I'll check again in a second. It looks okay now.
No, it's fine now. It's fine.
Now you're good.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
No, I was talking about the snowflakes. But yeah, the Scion. The Scion. Does the Scion have anything that the Scion can do that other people can't do, or is Scion basically just the worst version of other pure class builds?
I think Sirens are the best at taking Sabo gear and killing bosses with them.
Probably, yeah,
True.
because you get the.
I mean, I
mini Sabo.
did it in which gauntlet was it? One gauntlet. I did it in one gauntlet. I don't remember. It was like last two or like 2 gauntlets ago. That was it last? No, it was 2 gauntlets ago. Okay.
It was too.
Yeah.
Were you like racing Exile or something? Or
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I rerolled because I remember Exile rerolled Scion and then I was like, and then it didn't finish, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna reroll and force him to finish. Yeah, I think I played Slayer before that though, and then I just put on gear that I just found. I just had CIPs and stuff. Yeah, I had double CIPs and coated shrapnels and stuff. That's why I rerolled there.
Explosive arrow totem seems to be, or was at least a popular pick last time around in the gauntlet for Scion.
It was the most popular, yeah. From what Ninja says.
Yeah, definitely. There's the most people playing that.
Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah. But I'd rather do seismic. I've done Ascendant seismic, and it's good enough. It's completely fine. I'd probably just do that on Ascendant.
We haven't mentioned EA though when it comes to the other classes. Do you think like EA can be done on either like a Marauder or Templar?
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
It can be done as a Hierophant, and it's like relatively popular. But it's basically just a worse champion.
Got more damage, but not as much tank.
Can do Chieftain too if you want, but I mean, why?
Why?
I mean, you can do Raider as well.
Yeah,
But
but
also
why?
why? Yeah, same. At least Raider gets phasing onslaught. Like you've got something going for you.
Oh, you could do seismic chieftain now I think about it.
You could. Yeah, fire conversion.
I actually forgot about this. Yeah, for we're talking Scion, right? Yeah, Scion. Scion, I think seismic is the best.
Is that something you'd start though? Is there something else that you play first? Like start Seismic Saboteur and then reroll Scion once you get the gear and then just shift it over, or start right away with Scion?
I think there's no reason to ever start Scion.
Because it just takes you 20% longer to get through the acts.
It's so painful. Like big starting Scion.
The reason to start Scion is that it's a 48-hour race. There isn't time for a reroll. If that's the case, where you like, oh, it's a class race and there's no time for a reroll, you have to start Scion if you're going to do Scion. That's it. Otherwise, don't.
Yeah, I would never start Scion fresh. I think I'd never. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's just too painful to level. Although with the scaling mods, this gauntlet it should be less painful than previous,
it'll be
but
doable.
But it's still not going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be doable, but you could just get to red maps, gather up a bunch of gear, make the reroll even easier. I'd rather reroll.
And then you blast. There's no reason to. Yeah, it takes no time at all to reroll. If you already have Atlas set up and you have some gear, it takes absolutely no time. Like you will save more time that you're gonna spend rerolling. So
yeah.
I
agree.
There we go. In the 20.
Quickly gonna bring up the full rule document.
I can't see anything else that would really be that great. Unless you're just going for 90.
I mean, if you're just going for level 90, though, you can level like a whole bunch of things like this.
Yeah, pretty much anything.
If you're not going to try and kill the bosses and you're just going for level 90.
If you just want to enter like the raffle and get 90, then you'd be super stupid to do Scion over something that gets to 90 quicker, and then just re-rolling and getting as many as possible to 90 to get that graphics card. But with this being the easiest gauntlet ever, because the mods only ramp up to the end, and like in early white maps, which you don't need to go higher than white maps in order to hit level 90.
You should.
You don't need to,
you
but
should.
You should.
It's easier.
It's gonna take you a while.
I only grinded the level 90 last gauntlet, and I still ended up doing Alked tier 9 and 10 maps. Because I just got sick of it. Got to a point where I was like, white maps are too slow. I'm just going to go into yellows and we're going to alk them.
Yeah, not white maps. Yeah. Like doing high yellows is fine. But you got to do that.
I threw in up tier 11 and then was like, that's too scary. I'm going back to yellows. I just hung out in high yellows. It's fine. High yellows will get you all the way to 90, no problem. White maps, big issue. That's real slow.
Yeah, you get very low XP towards the mid 80s.
Okay, and so if you're going for boss kills, I got the document up here from Ziz with the point distribution this time around, and this is the first time I'm looking at it. Dude, the Uber bosses give you insane amounts of points.
Yep.
Well, they're insanely difficult.
Absolutely, right? Like regular Shaper and Elder give you 2 points, but Uber Shaper gives you 12 points. Regular at Zeri 1 point, Uber at Zeri 5 points. Uber Elder gives 15 points over regular Uber Elder, which gives 4 points. Uber Maven is 14 points versus 3 points for regular Maven. Exarch and Eater of Worlds. Wait, they actually give different points? They get 2 points base version, but the Uber Exarch gives 17 and the Uber Eater gives 16 only. So I guess Exarch is a little bit harder than Eater.
3 points for me. I'll take it. I'm more worried about... I'm
Cirrus.
the least worried about Exarch.
Cirrus is the big warrior, right?
It's not it's okay. It's on melee that is really rough. But even on melee,
true. On Sabo, it's probably not that bad.
On Sabo, it's gonna depend how the mods like influence the fight, but it should be fine. Yeah.
Dude, I was watching Exile do Uber Maven last night with Gauntlet mods. Holy fuck, is that a cluster? Sorry for cussing, but it is a cluster. It is a mess.
A cluster freak.
It is a cluster freak. Yeah, sorry. I know you
No,
wanna-
you feel free to speak freely.
It's just like there's just stuff everywhere, and then he got this the Chaos Roa from I don't know Arid Lake or whatever
yeah.
it's from, and it wouldn't leave him alone. Like it just kept charging him. At one point during memory phase, it pushed him into the wrong square. It knocked him back and triggered one of the other like sections and triggered the memory. And he had the log. Oh man, it was
Sounds
rough.
terrible.
He was doing it all on a 5 link though, and his damage was fucking really nice looking.
Yeah, that's the saboteur stuff.
Yeah, it makes me sort of question my decision about going DD.
Have you
But
ever
I-
played the DD build before?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I league started this league with it.
Okay.
So I mean, I've never done it in Gauntlet, but I league started at this league. And it brought me. I mean, I killed all the. I mean, this isn't regular HCSSF, but I killed all. Got all my void stones and completed my whole atlas with it. So pretty comfy with it. I know the build pretty well.
All right.
What about Raider? Did we go over Raider? We didn't say anything about Raider, right?
No, we actually didn't talk about Ranger. Who's gonna take Ranger? What's gonna take
I said
Ranger?
Raider, yeah. Ranger.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was implied.
Yeah. Probably a Raider of some sort.
Pathfinder is really good for bossing. Don't underestimate the Pathfind.
Yeah, but you gotta have your flasks rolled, and it kind of eats up a lot of resources.
Spectral Helix Deadeye is really tanky with a lot of damage.
I was actually just thinking about Helix Deadeye.
Yeah.
Really?
I think Helix
Yeah.
Deadeye is probably. I mean, it's Deadeye is really really good ascendancy for Helix, and Helix is a good skill. So
You said 2 words that I don't normally hear often put together: Deadeye and tanky.
yeah, I would not go that far, but
Well, okay. Like, I mean, tanky. We're in the Raider We're locked into the Raider ascendancy. So I'm not Raider. Ranger ascendancy.
True.
So I'm only comparing it in there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, Raider. You could build Raider pretty tanky, though. I feel. Can you not?
you can. You can. And
No.
you know what? Raider probably gets a little bit tankier, even. But the Deadeye brings you so much utility and damage and speed. And that build still does get to run Determination, Grace, Defiance banner. It still gets life gain on hit and a lot of it. And it gets to elusive scale, which is pretty damn powerful as well. So, like, it is pretty tanky. Like, for the Ranger ascendancy, anyway.
yeah, I would definitely do. I was the first thing that came to mind. I was like Raider, Pathfinder, and I was like Deadeye, probably Deadeye Helix.
Yeah, I think if I was forced to play it, it would be Deadeye Helix. That's what I'd be going with for that.
Can probably play Seismic Pathfinder.
Wait, is that Frenzy Charge stacking Helix, like cold, or is it Trinity Helix? Or
No,
are you talking about
Trinity.
Poison Helix?
Trinity Helix? Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Trinity.
otherwise, yeah, Pathfinder Seismic maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it would feel, but it's fucking.
Feels like you'd be lacking on AOE. No?
No, you have
I feel
AoE.
like-
No, yeah, you don't have AoE.
If I wasn't gonna do Trinity Spectral Helix, I'd probably end up playing Toxic Rain. I hate it. It'd probably end up being Toxic Rain though. But
Ugh.
Yeah,
I hate it
TR
so
Raiders
much.
probably. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not great, but
I don't like Toxic Rain since they nerfed the damage of the level 20 gem to the damage of a level 19 gem.
I don't
Gotta
like
get
it at all,
21.
'cause it's slow and shit. But
Wait, is Pathfinder Seismic even good? Well,
It's probably better
what
than the
people
other
doing?
options that you have on Pathfinder.
Is it
Focus on the
bad that-
radar seismic?
Is it bad that like half of the ascendancies that we called out is like the answer is seismic?
I mean,
I
it is what it is.
It's not that bad because seismic's getting deleted in like 5 weeks' time. So
Yeah, that's what I thought this was gonna happen. This patch we did in seismic, and guess what? Here we are, did in seismic. So
Yeah, we desperately need a meta shift.
yeah,
it'll happen. I'm confident.
I've lost hope. I thought there was
Everything
no
we
way this
think is
thing.
good, really good right now. Trash next link.
I thought no chance he was gonna go on for another league, but yeah.
Well, I have the hopium that just no balance changes this patch means that next patch we get all the balance changes, but then really well cooked through instead of like, knee-jerk reaction, like quick changes,
Yeah.
stuff that they really tuned, refined,
Yeah.
maybe like a good selection of new skills, somewhere between 5 and 10, and like really like balance changes through the board where, stuff like, yeah, I don't know, stuff that is just mechanically inferior, like, I don't know, Glacial Hammer, Molten Strike, and all that gets like a
6%
little bit
more
of
damage.
yeah, a little bit
Yes.
love.
Just
And
melee
not
in
just-
general.
Not just your typical GGG triple nerf, what's good, and 6% buff to Glacial Hamster.
Glacial Hamster is good. I haven't heard that one. Now that we're speaking of melee, CArn, what's the state of Fortify?
I don't even. It's nothing changed. It's the same. It's
Go on
bad.
there, huh?
You fight Harvest, you don't have Fortify. No, it is what it is.
I mean, you fight anything with 40% less damage done, you're gonna struggle for 4
Yeah, that
Be
too.
a champion. You gotta be
I
a
mean,
champion if
Ubers-
you want Fortify.
Ubers with these mods, I don't even know if you're getting Fortify. I mean, the thing is, like, Monster Life and damage reduction is the same for Fortify.
True.
Since it's-
They're also threshold based, aren't they?
Yeah, special bay, which makes zero sense at all, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like the Uber bosses already have, just to be very clear here, I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware, but maybe our audience not so much, but the Uber bosses have the same amount of health as the regular versions of the bosses, but then they have 70% damage reduction on that, right? And then another 35% damage reduction from the Gauntlet mods in Uber bosses means that they take around 19% of the original damage that you dealt. They have like 81% damage reduction in total.
Sounds about right.
That's Pain Champ.
Wait, what did you say, sorry?
Yeah.
I was saying how the Uber bosses have already 70% damage reduction per default, right? Like that's what makes them more tanky than the regular versions.
I don't know if it's all of them. I know Shaper's 70%. I don't know if they all have 70%.
I thought that was like the rule for all of them, at least like Cirrus and Maven, and I don't know about
Pretty
the other ones.
sure it is. No Exarch and
they did-
Eater do.
The point I was trying to make is they're not more tanky than the non-Uber versions because they have more life. They have exactly the same life value, but they already have 70% damage reduction. Maybe it's a slightly different value than that for some of them, but 70% damage reduction multiplies with the 35% damage reduction that comes from the Gauntlet, and that means they end up taking only 19% of the damage that you deal. So they have effectively 81%-ish damage reduction. So, like, everything's gonna feel ZDPS on the Uber bosses.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why if you play the build that had like not that much damage now, it's gonna be super painful.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
And
long
yeah.
fight.
And Leech will be you won't get Leech, you won't get Fortify, so yeah, it's great. Melee. Let's tie the player defense to their damage. That makes a lot of sense.
Damn. Yeah, I really hope that they're coming through with like something that gives melee an actual edge.
I mean, the problem in melee is there's like a lot of conditions that need to be met to do enough damage, and that damage is not even higher. It's not even the same. It's not even on the same level as other skills that are better. Like that, so it doesn't make any sense. For example, look at Bone Shadow, for example, has decent numbers. The problem is like you need to ramp up first, and you need to be in melee range and you need to keep hitting. As soon as you stop hitting, you drop your stacks. You don't deal damage. So then you
Whereas
play something like
I'll
Seismic. Seismic does more damage, has 100% uptime, There's nothing. There's no conditions. It's just you just
And
throw your
even if-
seismic and you deal the damage. That's all.
And even if you step down from there and play like a spell build, you're like, oh no, I deal like 30% less tooltip DPS in like Path of Building than cArn does in my spell build. Oh no. But my uptime's 100% because I can attack from anywhere. So it's like 90 to 100, and his uptime's like 30. And he's like, oh,
Yeah,
I deal
it's like-
10% more damage in Path of Building, but you only deal it a third of the time. So it's like way lower.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of build, for example, like when you can actually hit stuff and you ramped up, you did like what? It was like 12 million or something, right?
Yeah.
12 to 13 mil DPS. But on bosses that don't allow you to actually have uptime, or that tank it, like Cyrus just moves around, and Uber Size, for example, like the fights would they would take like some time.
Yeah.
Like normally this kind of damage, like you would kill him like pretty quickly if you were not for the uptime issues. But yeah, like skills like this should do like a lot more damage for the mechanical issues that they have. Compared to like a skill like Seismic that's good mechanically and has a lot of damage, it should have only one of them, not both. Like for example, Cold Dot is not a very high DPS build, but you have good uptime, so
Yeah.
it's
And
okay.
you have
Like,
the chill. Guaranteed, basically.
yeah, that's there's like this skill like makes sense, right? It's like most dot builds like made sense like this. That they didn't have very high damage, but there was consistent damage like that you would always deal like over the course of the fight. So it's okay. It's like imagine if you Cold Dot did like fucking 10 million DPS. That's what Seismic is right now. It doesn't make any sense.
Plus with really good defenses.
Yeah.
Man, now you want to make me want to play Cold Dot.
There you go.
I have to theory craft, but I don't think it's easy to hit like what would you want to hit? You want to hit like at least like 2 million, otherwise it's not even worth trying to get into the bosses.
In general, like in normal game, you play with 2 million DPS, you do everything very comfortably, like extremely comfortably, right?
Yeah.
So like in this, you would need like let's say 3 times,
4 or 5
twice.
at least.
So, yeah, it's like 4 or 5, and you would do everything. It would be comfortable.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be comfortable though. You just have to get it done.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Just have to not die. Stay alive long enough for the boss to die.
Yeah, like the only bosses where you actually need enough. Yeah, there's some damage checks like Uber Elder for the squids. Then you kill them on time. There's maybe Cyrus, so the arena doesn't get too fucked. Oops. And
it's a normal
I think
English
that's all. Yeah, there's the other bosses. You can fight them forever. Yeah, you can just fight them forever if you just play the fight properly. And even Cyrus, you can probably still fight for a decent amount of time. So it just needs to be like enough to be comfortable. If not, like basically the less comfortable the fight, the more DPS you want. So you don't have to fight it for too long.
Yeah, because the longer the fight goes on, the more room for error you do have to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be in there forever.
It's taxing on your mental. Like you have to keep up the focus for a very long time in these gauntlets. I mean, I think that's the design, right? That's what Zizaran wants. Is like they really don't want people to go in and insta kill bosses, but they want to see like a several minute boss fight.
I wish the mods were harder actually for bosses. I wish it was harder. Because now he's gonna.
Well, I mean, we have the Uber bosses that are like basically another 70%
Yeah,
damage
but
reduction on top.
Yeah, but even with these mods, like you can still play just Seismic and run 2 bosses like pretty fast. And the success rate is probably. I mean, you can still die. Like it's not gonna be easy, but the success rate will be maybe too high, probably.
Fair
You
enough.
think?
Yeah, but it's you can definitely die, but you know, it's like I'd rather it be something like I don't know, 1 out of 20. It's like 20 people attempt it and only 1 guy kills them. That's what would be ideal, I think.
I
Something
see what
like
you're
this.
saying. So you're saying the number of people who actually get to the Ubers and attempt will have a high success rate.
Yeah, then I would like.
I see.
I would like the bosses to be like hard. Like you have to play well, not just reach enough gear, and then boom, it's pretty much just a foregone conclusion. You just close it out basically.
You want there to be a chance that if you manage to kill them all, you might even be the only one that does it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or like the winner might be someone who managed to kill 3 Uber bosses.
Just like Last Gauntlet,
But
for
that
example.
was-
Last Gauntlet was like that. Like nobody cleared Last Gauntlet.
It does make a more interesting like watching spectacle because like for the most part I don't play Gauntlet events, but I am super interested in them, right? Like I'm capable of existing in hardcore and I know enough to know how difficult this is, and it is super fun to watch. And Last Gauntlet, when people weren't even clearing, like the winner didn't finish. Like that's really interesting. That's really interesting.
It was the same for the Gauntlet Feared when they first added it to the game. Like the one when I killed Gauntlet in Feared in Gauntlet, it was like I think it was like 4 people who tried before me, but they all died, right, or failed. I think there's a couple died and some failed.
You're still the only person to ever complete the Feared and Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
I mean, Feared will die this Gauntlet though. It should.
It came close. A couple people came close last league, but couldn't pull it out. But I mean, we had insane mods.
Yeah, the mods
league.
were like really
Holy
hard.
moly!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. I just still think that the Uber bosses add like so much challenge, and I'm not actually sure that. Do you think it's gonna be full clear? I think there might be.
Yeah.
This one will get full clear, yeah.
Yep. Probably not by like a lot of people, but enough.
Not sure. I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess a few people will, maybe, but
I think more than 3 people.
I'm still skeptical, honestly, if it does.
I did regular league Uber Cyrus, and Uber Cyrus has like these extremely strong degens in the last phase, and with Ink AoE and increased damage, there may be very, very little safe space, and then with something that deals enough damage to kill him fast enough for that not to be a problem, you have like almost no recovery. I mean, how much recovery does Sabo have?
I mean, Sabo has lead shade, so I don't care.
Fair enough.
Yeah, on Slayer it's a nightmare. On Slayer it's a nightmare. When you step on it, you just die in like under a second.
Yeah.
So like when I was testing the fight, like I mean now I can do the fight on Slayer like consistently, like comfortably, but it's really hard. It's like you can't make mistakes. On Sabo it's a lot easier. Like anything that's like right side of the tree that have access to lead shade can just click lead shade and you're good to go. And you're good. I'm mostly worried about LMP AoE on the corridor. That's the one that might be dangerous.
Oh wait, LMP works on the corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mess up once, then you're instantly dead.
So you might get one shot, depending on how many overlap. If it's 2, it's probably fine. If it's 3, might be dangerous.
Yeah,
probably not.
Normal strat of trying to tank the balls and getting DPS uptime doesn't really work.
Yeah, I think when you get ported into the corridor, you want to like dash out as fast as possible.
You gotta get out
behind him. Yeah, you're not even trying to go left, right, or anything.
But you can't. Yeah, you can't because of the LMP.
Don't get stuck in the wall.
Yeah, that too. What about how long? How long do you think it would take to full clear then? If you think they will full clear?
Yeah, that's a good question.
3 to 4 days. I think it's day 3 or day 4 clear.
I'm going to say day 6 or 7.
Who?
I think it'll be day 6 or 7.
Oh, okay.
Weren't you the one who said like 48 hours is what you expect for a Gauntlet winner?
48?
Me?
Oh, you mean you mean total playtime or something?
I guess.
I don't think it'll be that soon.
It's not like people who play 48 hours sleep more than 4.
No, I think I'm shooting for 2 sleep personally. Sleep twice, finish. Something like this. So that would be That would be like day
Day 3 or 4, depending on how much you sleep.
Yeah, it just depends. Like I don't know. Sometimes I just do 30 hours. Sometimes I do normal ones. I don't know. It depends.
If
I
you
might
can
sleep.
get your Eradicator.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is actually so insane. Like even in my current run, I can't get an Eradicator map to witness Twisted, and I've lost like 2 races like that. Like the Gauntlet against Steel Mage, the one got the Gauntlet Steel won in Expedition. I lost it to Eradicator map, and then also I think it was in Ultimate. It was the same thing too. I lost to Eradicator map. So like, yeah. I just hope I don't get this again.
Because the Shaper Guardians you can Horizon, but the Elder Guardians...
Yeah, Elders you can't. I remember when they added the Guardian map stash tab, when the Guardian section in the map tab, I was like, oh, nice, that means we can Horizon them now. But no.
Nope. Yeah, no, you just Horizon them into another map, but it stays
Yeah,
the same
I assumed
guy.
it would be like this, because, you know, if they make a tab for it, then, yeah.
Damn.
Nah.
I had a good question, but I forgot it. What do you think is going to be, I mean, is it going to be the best for, like, new players, people who normally play softcore, the casual Andes that just want to dip their toes into the gauntlet and want to, you know, hit some thresholds for raffles? What would you recommend? Is that still the Saboteur? Because I believe last time we talked about how great the first lab on Sab is with the guaranteed blind.
Yeah. Wait, for what level is that? Level 50 or something? Right?
Well, I mean, just
it's at 90.
anything 50 to 90. People who are not playing to win, but people who are playing to get as far as they can to hit some level thresholds for gambles.
Yeah, because the Sabo thing was like for level 50, I think.
Yeah. I think
Therefore,
for me, there's only 3 options. If you're just trying to play it for like the first time or an inexperienced, you're not trying to win, you're not trying to kill bosses, but you want to cruise to level 90. There's the 2 that are in the leading place to win. DD and Seismic Trap are just too good to pass up. If you're not racing anyway, but you still want to cruise relatively quickly but safely, there's those. And CARN's not going to like this. I still think Righteous Fire Inquisitor is a really, really good option to cruise to level 90 and not kill any boss with. It's super comfortable to map. It's only moderately speedy. Like, it's not fast, but it's not super slow. But it's very tanky to map with. The damage is pretty low to start with, but you don't need any for the mapping. I think it's pretty safe.
okay.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah, these builds would work. I mean, mine is the Inquis part because I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, DD and Seismic for sure are fine. I think Bone Shadow is also fine. Well, Bone Shadow is probably really good too for this, yeah.
I usually tell people to play a build they're, most comfy with, and it has a relative amount of tankiness that could withstand a hit. If you're just trying to hit 90, then if you have adequate skill in the game, most builds I feel could do that with time. Just over level, over gear, and take your time. Roll over hard map mods, and it's a 10-day event.
Like, when I tell you that I was at times 8 to 10 levels over the zone while leveling, I'm not over exaggerating. You can just do
exactly.
that. It's fine.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like you stop at what is like there's like a couple of points you usually stop and farm. It's like
The
I
one
think
before Innocence, where Innocence.
no, but
is,
even before that. So you can stop a bit in
Lake.
you can maybe stop a bit in Northern Forest or Wetlands, maybe, but usually not, right? Like the earliest.
Northern's really good if you want to. If you need to stop, Northern's really good.
Yeah, Northern is good, and then you do Docks, obviously. You stop by Docks a bit.
And Dried Lake.
Dried
Lake has the tornado shatters that could be pretty deadly.
No, that Dried Lake is not that good. I would do that in Duresso. But
I like Dureso's Dream. Or whichever one's the first zone.
Yeah,
right?
the first zone. The first zone is really good. It's a bit rippy, so you kind of want at least make sure you have the term or something or Grace going there.
I mean, Wait, Dried Lake is still in Act 1 through 5. Still in Part 1. I don't think it's that bad with one additional projectile, 20% increased damage. But
Yeah, no, it's not that it's rippy, it's just that it's not that good. I think it was one to farm.
Yeah, it's just way less XP than Dureso's zone. That's
Yeah,
all.
the rest of it is big XP.
yeah, the Resto has really high density, that's true.
And then
Big XP
after
and-
that, it's
Chamber.
after that,
Chamber.
it's the zone Innocence Within,
Yeah,
whatever
chamber.
that's called.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
But that's probably the last time you'll just stay in XP. You can just overlevel to like even level 50 or something, and then move on.
Yeah. I wouldn't stop again until
Act 10
mean-
or Act 9,
Well,
Act
Harbor
8.
Bridge. Harbor Bridge.
I want to
Harbor,
say Harbor
yeah.
Bridge. I'd
No,
rather
Harbor
skip
is bad.
Bridge
I think
than
Harbor is. I think Harbor is garbage. Harbor is rippy and it's not.
It's
that
not
good. I
as
don't think-
drippy as Blood Aqueducts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't like that aqueducts.
Blood Aqueduct I think is safer than Harbor, because Harbor you get chill, you get frozen. It's kind of bad.
I
And
mean-
you don't have all the monsters like on one side. You have to go down, go back. It depends what you're playing, right? But in general, it's kind of bad. Like as long as you're running the term, if you're using a shield, you have the term. Like you'll be fine in Dried Lake. Oh, Dried Lake, sorry.
Blood Aqueducts.
Blood Aqueduct.
Yeah.
Aqueduct.
You still have
I feel
to
like-
pay, like keep an open eye because there's the TD stuff
the
from the
staging
Revenants.
is-
and
Yeah,
stuff
you,
like that.
you just
Yeah.
don't stop. You just go.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
the
like by
thing.
the time you get there, you still just don't stop. You just go back to Chamber of Innocence again if you really need to overlevel before Katava.
In Act 10?
Yeah.
The chambers. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, that might be good now, but last Gauntlet, I would strongly advise against that. Like last Gauntlet with the 100% increased AoE, there's fireball monsters in the
And they
desecrated chambers.
overlap.
They overlap on walls, but also on ledges. So if you're standing next to a ledge and then there's the fireballers on the bottom,
Yeah.
they shoot fireballs at you, they hit them into the ledge, and you get guaranteed overlapped by multiple
Oh,
fireballs.
sorry. Here's the zone you should farm in Act 9, and it's the key. Quay? How do you pronounce this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you're
That
right.
one's the
Yep.
best. That one's the best. Easily.
Yeah.
It's safe. There's a lot of monsters. It's really good. It's a bit lower level, but I mean that's the safe one. That's the best one. Like Harbor is rippy. Like for some builds, I guess Black is rippy for some builds. Harbor I think is rippy for everything. I hate Harbor. I think it's really bad. And the key is really good though.
I don't dislike Harbor that much, but yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, personally, I agree. I kind of like Harbor myself, but I could see where cArn's coming from. I was taking a bit of damage when I was leveling through there.
It's like the mob type is bad on the Lunaris side. On Solaris side it's fine, but the Lunaris side is kind of bad.
Well, I mean, you could have chill and freeze immunity by that time. It's not too
Oh, yeah.
hard.
How?
Wait, from
How?
what?
Well,
Sea Flask only.
Arctic Armor gives freeze immunity, or
I'm
you
not
could
gonna
be running
lie.
Purity of Elements, or
Yeah,
Purity
but-
of Elements is on every single character I ever level.
I guess that's true.
If you do Purity of Elements, then yeah, sure, it's not as bad.
or you could luck into a Dream Fragments. I mean, that's what you want on Saboteur anyway, right? Because you get the Ignite and Shock immunity from the Ascendancy, and then you have a Dream Fragments on top of that, which is not too uncommon. Could have one before you get
You
there.
could with Jewelry Sentinels. I guess there's a chance. Yeah. There's also a chance you could drop a mirror in Harbor Bridge, but it probably won't happen.
Not a higher one than in Blood Aqueducts, though.
Just get your Stalkers and Death Rush. That's all.
Yeah, that's all you need. Dear Stalker's Death Rush.
Yeah.
Right, that's that about covers what we wanted to talk about. Is there any closing statements? Any secret strats that you want to share? Well, I mean, there wouldn't be secret strats then anymore, but
Is there any?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go first. Well, I was just gonna ask if there's any bounties announced.
oh right, true. We wanted to go. That's not a lot, but there is some bounties. That's a very fair point. Let me see. I brought them up earlier. There's only like 4 bounties listed, I believe. Not all of them are there yet.
It's still kind of early. Usually, most streamers will do like their charity event or like stream, charity, or whatever it is. They're fundraisers for it towards closer to the actual gauntlet.
Yeah, I was actually thinking I'd try and plan one for the weekend though, because weekend's always bigger than during the week, but it's a little bit too late now. There is a Manscaped bounties. Manscaped is one of the sponsors that Ziz pulled for this event. And there's a don't smell like poop bounty where you have to kill the infinite hunger with at least 6 modifiers and the height of hubris notable allocated for a total of $1,250 though.
Oh wait,
That's a pretty big one.
wait. That's not. Oh, okay. It's not even that bad. I'm doing this.
It depends on the 6 modifiers, right?
Yeah, if you get a good one, I'm doing this. I'm confident in that fight. I can do it without getting hit.
Yeah, it's not a hard
if
fight.
you could get modifiers that don't really scale with height of hubris, like I don't know, enfeeble or what's another one that doesn't really scale with it?
Things that don't affect you, like if you don't have suppression in your build and you take a negative suppression, right?
Or monsters have suppression and you're running an attack build, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money actually for bouncy because it's not a hard bouncy. I think
it's more about getting there first and like getting to the state of being able to.
It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's definitely getting done like day 1 or something. I think. Yeah, day 1 for sure. It's gone.
I like how they also sneaked in like an ad sentence here. The infinite hunger looks and probably smells like poop. Luckily, Manscaped has all the signature smells to take care of that in their performance package. Yeah, thank you for that, Manscaped. And they got a close shave bounty as well, where the first player to provide proof of killing the Black Star with at least 4 modifiers while the player has less than 30% life. Another 1,250.
Wait, what? Okay, it's like you kill it
when you kill, you need to have 30% or less remaining life.
Oh, that's fine.
And it can't be reserved and can't be petrified blood.
Yeah,
I think that's fine. Actually.
Yeah, you just have a blessing or whatever to.
Just Val Righteous Fire.
Oh, true. Yeah, blessing. I
or just Val Righteous Fire. Yeah.
I mean, you just drop any, press molten shell, and beam finish. Actually, I know exactly. That's really easy. Actually, never mind.
But if you have any amount of regen, though, that you're gonna have to kill it really quick.
It's really easy. I know it's really easy.
You put it in cull range. And then you press the button that lowers your life, and then you press Val Molten Shell at the same time, and then you run and you cull it.
Yep.
Probably.
Good point. True.
Like it's tricky, but not like super difficult.
You think anybody will die trying to do that?
Absolutely. Well, it depends.
It's gotta be gone very fast, so I don't think people will have time to get there.
If there were 10 goes at it, like if they were going to give it to the first 10 people, absolutely someone would die in it, like without question. But if it's just there's only one, so like the first person to get there is probably good enough to pull it off, right?
Yep.
Can it be the quest for? Oh, wait.
You cannot roll the quest one.
Oh, right. You can't.
It has to have 4 modifiers.
Yeah, because I thought about it. So
true.
No, you can't.
You gotta make sure. I mean, most professional players have that, but you gotta make sure to activate the show life values in the user interface so people can actually see it, and 100% be sure that you're at or below 30% remaining life. But like Balor said, it's not a problem. It's like you just bring them into cull range, and you log out, and you make all the prep. You go in, get yourself below 30, and press the molten shell, and go in and cull.
Yep.
Should not be a problem. And then we got Uber Loot Bounty, where there's a different sums of money for the first players to provide proof of killing each of the Uber bosses with item rarity support linked to their main skill. You need to equip the gem before going into the portal. It must be linked to the main damage skill the entire fight.
Damage. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You definitely don't want to do that on a 5-link. You definitely want a 6-link, so you effectively have a 5-link at least.
Yeah, I mean, the same with these. Like, these are like... Yeah, I actually don't know when that will be completed. Actually,
You think you don't think that the very first person to kill one of the Uber bosses will do
of
it?
course
Then?
not.
They'll first
that'll
get
be
the
a
first
late-
kill, and then they do it afterwards again with the item.
I don't think
rarity.
it's enough. No, I don't think it's enough money to do this. I mean,
Maybe some of
depends,
the
actually.
easier ones, or like easier in quotes, like in comparison to the other Ubers, like Eater or
somebody gets lucky and has a 6 link, might go back and do it. If
Oh,
they're
this
the
is
right
also
kind of-
only the this is only the Ubers that are not Cortex. This is only for the Uber Shaper, Maven, Uber Eater, Uber Elder, and Exarch and Cirrus, not Cortex.
Yeah. The Cortex is not in anyway.
Because it's still too RNG, right?
Yeah, because you would need two Cortexes. Just like it's too toxic.
yeah, one for the feared and one.
Unless you want to
Yeah.
witness a fucking Uber Cortex, but yeah,
Probably
not a
not a
great
Witness
idea.
Cortex with a 5 link, yeah.
witness Uber Cortex. Yeah,
With item rarity in.
yeah, sounds great.
I mean, it's not. I mean, in comparison to like what you're doing and what you get, I don't think it's a lot. So it'll probably be something that mostly gets done towards the end. People bounty hunting.
Yeah, because
I had-
you
had to
won't do
guess.
this like early. It's not enough. It's not enough money to worry about
To
this
risk,
early on.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's all the bounties that we have on the list so far. You guys have
Oh,
any
that's it.
ideas for bounties that you want to do or that you want to share? What would be a cool bounty? I really liked Sir Gog's bounty last time, but that one didn't get claimed. That was the Grand Tour, the end game, right? Where you wanted, what was it? Like you needed a heist shield base with item level
You needed the
83 and
brittle
2
shield
influences.
85. No, it was higher than I think it was 86. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 86
it-
high shield and walk over
And it needed to be Shaper Elder or something like that.
yeah.
I think we all knew that wasn't going to get claimed, but it was very thought out.
was
What was the
definitely-
idea? I can't even remember. We were talking about it the other day on stream. We had a pretty cool idea for. See, this is why I need to write shit down because my memory is terrible.
Dude, that happens to me every single time. My brain is so my brain has a big ego, is very arrogant. So whenever I have a good idea, my brain's telling me, "Oh, you don't need to write that down. You
Yeah.
won't forget about that. That's such a
Yeah.
good idea."
Classic
And then
mistake.
and then you forget about it. Yeah. I've only ever done one bounty. We did a bounty a couple leagues ago for the first person to kill eight Cirrus because at the time it was still awakening levels with Bringer of Rain and your main skill inside Bringer of Rain.
Oh yeah, I remember. I wanted to do that one, but you got claimed.
Yeah, I can't remember who did it. Somebody not well known did it. He did it with Shield Crush because it was the SST Gladiator Gauntlet, which was what 315.
Expedition. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might do like another community vote. If I do like a fundraising stream, I actually have people vote for the like a number of different options and then see what it's going to be the one that I put up. Maybe I should do a cArn Slayer bait bounty. First Slayer to hit level 95.
Oh,
Is that going to be enough? I mean, it depends on the sum.
depends on the.
Money. Yeah.
We know we'll have like the first class of each to kill its Ziri. Like that's always usually a thing that someone puts up. A first to die at 98 or something. Someone usually does those. Yeah.
There'll be some weird shit like get to level 90 and then down level yourself to level 10 or some shit.
It's like, wait, what do you need for that? I don't even know what you need for the book. Is it like
Scour and a wisdom scroll?
Yeah, so basically the first person.
80 scours? Oh my! Yeah, okay. Actually, that's actually why not?
is what you'd need.
Wait, and if you get higher than 90 before you get the 80 scours, you kind it's not 80 scours suddenly. That's
Every time you level up, you're like, damn it, I need another scour.
Actually, it should be lower then. It should be lower than this, like level 80 or something. Because you're never getting 70 scour level 80. That's not
True.
happening.
True.
That'd be kind of funny.
You could get the like 40 scour card.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's
And,
9. Isn't it 9 set or
You'd have
something?
to get it and also harvest gamble it successfully.
Yeah, and then get 40 more or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
To be
definitely
fair, you get a
curious.
lot of scours with Sentinel. Yeah, I was just doing Sentinel, and suddenly I looked at my scour count. I'm like, oh shit, whatever, 150 scours. Like, what's going on?
You can trade. What is it?
Chance.
Chances.
You get a lot of chance too.
Chances. You get a shit ton of chances. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're only rolling maps blue because map sustain is so good, then yeah, you're also saving a lot of scour alks for the maps from the maps.
Yep.
I'm definitely curious to see what other bounties we're gonna be getting. People are always super creative with that. Maybe like another naked mudflats run or something like that. Although this time will not be as bad as last time with the 100% increased damage. That was brutal.
Yeah. There was 40% speed too, no? Was it 40%?
Something like that. Wait, let me check.
Yeah,
I got it.
and
up
100
here.
and 100%.
Yeah, 40%
AoE?
turbo, 70% AoE, 100%
that's the
life,
big
100
thing.
damage.
40% turbo mudflats was some clown show.
Yeah, next level. Yeah. I mean, especially with like with hasted rares and stuff like that, it's probably gonna be. I mean, I was gonna say it's worse, but then this time the mods aren't as bad. But if the mods were the same, then this time it would be worse because Arch Nemesis is core now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just look, there's a shit infused pack coming your way.
Oh god.
Just an instant log out.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you guys want to still like bring up or plug or like talk about? Because I'm very aware that we started late by BalorMage time standards, and we probably want to be looking to round things off at this point.
I don't think so.
What about the prizes? How do we feel about the random draws that?
I'm happy that there's a 3090 Ti RTX card, but I'm not happy that it's going to be the easiest gauntlet ever to reach level 90 in.
But wasn't last gauntlet they gave away like a whole like PC system with
Yeah, Ben wanted.
3090.
That
What
was
a
got it.
fucking joke! What the hell?
I want to
One, like-
win a random draw for once in my life.
It was staged. It was all staged.
God,
To be
real.
fair though, last gauntlet I didn't get anything, but I think the gauntlet before that I got like 2 armor sets or something like that. But a physical prize would be nice other than MTX. But I guess I just gotta get good and win like an actual class top placement.
Just
Like,
reroll to level 90 over 10 days. That's all. Just 10
Yeah,
days,
keep
do
doing
nothing.
it. Just
Yeah,
keep-
but then if you
keep
don't win
leveling
it, that's like it feels so bad, right?
I mean,
Like,
probably still we're not gonna win it. But, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
it'll give you good.
It's like how many
leveling
level?
practice.
I'm trying to think. How many level 90 can you get in 10
10.
days? Like the first one would be day 1. It depends how fast. I mean, I don't.
I think
you could
most
technically-
people who are experienced could do one a day.
I can do more.
Really?
Like you do one.
Yeah,
you do
you
the first
can
one
do
day
more.
1. Like day 1, you get level 90. You have your atlas kind of set up, and then the next ones should take like you can maybe do 2 a day.
Mhm.
I don't know.
If you have
I
good
could
gear,
do 2 a day.
Maybe not 2 a day. Maybe not exactly. Maybe not from the start. Maybe
One
Yeah,
is
but-
bit.
You hate yourself, not like I also like the thing.
Oh,
is
you
the
just make
problem-
bullshit. You just make bullshit out of slayers. You're gonna love your life.
Yeah,
You
'cause
just
everyone
play
loves
Bob
that.
Brothers.
It's my pay on this is like it's
I'm-
the best, man.
I'm
a
not
treat.
challenging you on how good the build actually is, but I would personally rather pull out my toenails with pliers than play that build.
You haven't played that build, haven't you?
No,
You
but
haven't.
it's melee.
You don't see. You don't know. You don't know. You just don't know. You don't know. You
Bad.
don't know. You need to play to understand how. If you
Melee
imagine,
is so
okay, how much would you rate Sabo mapping from 1 to 10?
like a 6
A 6.
in mapping.
If Sabo is a 6, if
It's like
Sabo
a
is a 6,
4.
Bone Shadow is a 12.
It's like a 4 for mapping,
Okay.
especially
I
early.
think remember, when you say Sabo mapping, my version is full crit instant damage, not poison. You know, it's 28 million DPS. It's not.
Yeah, but we talking like league start. You know, they
I've
want.
never done the poison one. I just go straight into crit.
Yeah, but then your damage sucks.
No, it's. I
No.
mean, clear is gonna feel better for sure. On crit is better. The clear doesn't
Clear,
feel as
yeah,
bad.
crit
Right
clear
away?
is way
Day
better.
one?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you played before. That's how I played.
Yeah.
Before I would play Sabo like that. You'd go
It's just
crit and go poison later.
Yeah.
It's just not tanky. The only reason to do poison is because hardcore. It's way tankier. Like it's less damage.
You can build crit tank,
I mean, it's-
but you just sacrifice a little bit of damage, which you have damage to sacrifice.
I mean, crit phase is not more damage than poison, bro.
You don't think?
No, conversion, yeah. If you do cold, then yeah, it's more damage with investment. But
It's
poison
just
is
more it's more upfront damage. It's better at mapping.
like poison is better in every way than crit fizz. I think.
I think, as far as I can tell, the only
besides-
reason poison
the cure.
is hardcore. I would
The what?
never tell them to play poison in softcore.
No,
It's
I
way
mean,
less damage.
it's worse clear for sure, but I think the damage should be higher on poison because you.
What's your what is the damage like ceiling good investment?
on what poison? Oh no, versus
10,
I don't know
12
honestly.
mil,
I don't know. I just know a lot.
maybe.
So-
If it's 10 or 12, that's half of what a crit build can do.
Crit fizz.
Yeah.
Crit pure fizz. Okay.
Crit pure fizz will reach like 15 to 18, but by the time you get to like 18, you want to go cold convert and be like,
Yeah, I mean,
45.
it says I'm cold convert. Yeah.
But that's still, you can still get 15 to 18 pretty reasonably before it's worth investing into conversion.
Honestly,
just-
I don't know the number.
But this is all softcore, right? Like this
Yeah,
build is
it's
going to
different.
be around with 4.5k life. Like I'm still going to use like determination and stuff. I'm still going to have defenses, but like softcore level.
I mean, 4.5k life is more than is enough for sure. Like even in hardcore, you could play with 4.5k life on a sabo and not die.
Yeah, the DR is huge on Sabo, honestly, and the
Normally.
blind. Yeah. And
But
all
you-
the recovery you get.
But the same level of investment with the poison one. Instead of doing 18 mil, maybe you're doing 8 mil, but you'll probably have like 7k life by then. But by that same level of investment, and still all the other defenses to go with it, and then probably more. Like it's, I don't know, just it feels like a hardcore thing to do poison to me.
Maybe. No, I haven't looked at numbers honestly. I just know that poison seismic does a ton of damage and also like you have more recovery. That's also one of the reasons I liked it more at the start.
You have way more recovery.
Yeah,
But
you got
the
really
reason
good recovery.
Trap gets it to be a 6, slightly above average for me, is because I'm always playing the hit.
Yeah, okay. If you play crit, then I can see it being
Throws
6.
out and it just goes boom and everything's
Yeah,
dead. Right?
I can see it being 6 if it's not poison. Yeah.
I think a poison version probably ends up getting like a 3. For mapping.
It's, like early mapping on poison chopper it's so awful. Oh my god!
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough.
Like in Gauntlet mods, that is like with tank mod and no deer stalkers, and you're just probably pushing Atlas a bit fast, like not being over leveled or anything. So it's it's painful.
I don't know. I didn't find it that bad, but like maybe I'm just more used to playing shit builds than you are.
It's just that I compared to like Bone Shatter Slayer, and that build maps like 3 times as fast. It's not even. It's like probably one of the best, not the best mapping build that is in hardcore. So, that's the fastest for sure.
Do you have a guide
Yeah,
for your Bone Shadow Slayer?
Yeah, we made one with this for this league start.
True.
So there's one on his channel.
LS Champ is a pretty good mapper too.
yeah, but
you
it's
need
way harder to get going. Yeah.
you need all the stuff like Boon Shadow. You show up in maps with whatever axe you made, and you can take that to your 16s.
I mean, I did a non-omni version this league that handles things pretty well.
Leadership's price or not even that.
No,
Oh.
just a regular rare Ami.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't do any Ubers with it, but it did Eater. I mean, I farmed Eater on it, and it did Maven. No, I'm sorry, I didn't do Maven.
Yeah, so apparently,
Shabby, like Juice T16s, like no problem. It's pretty decent for mapping. I have a really nice claw though.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming at least Perseverance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the big majority of the damage is actually coming from. You know, it's giving me like what 500% increased damage plus perma onslaught. It's pretty ridiculous. You know?
And I always get Perseverance when I play a build that doesn't need it, but I'm so like aware that whenever I play a build where I'd want it, it'd probably take me to level 90 to get one.
I found 4 Perseverances because I'm playing a Death Swish witch. Like I'm not. Right? So they're just dropping on the floor everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It was the same. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I cannot get a ring to save my life.
That's PoE though. It's such a troll. Like it knows the build and the uniques you need.
Yeah.
Desire Sensor. The same. Just raining Perseverances when I play Slayer. I don't want them, but they're there.
That's why, like, when people be like, hey, I'm going to try out SSF HC or SSF for the first time. If I do this build that needs this, like, common unique, I'll be okay, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It might be common, but you may not get it for a week or two. Because the game trolls you.
It's common, but that's the one you need for the build, so it instantly goes up 2 tiers in the list.
Exactly.
Yeah, the game knows when you actually need it.
It really does, man. I swear.
All right. That means we reached everything. Do we quickly do a closing round once again? Do you want to give a shout out to your current Rise of Kingdoms thing that you're doing? What is Rise of Kingdoms, cArn?
It's just I don't necessarily have to talk about it. It's just some like strategy game type of thing, building stuff.
Click the link, help him out.
Yeah. I'm gonna link it all in chat. There's links for cArn's YouTube, for the Twitch, for the Twitter, and then the last link there is the Rise of Kingdoms link. So if you want to download a fun game and support cArn, make sure you do that. Any content coming up? Valor, you doing another video about your SSF journey?
I just did one this morning, but then since then I've made a disgusting shield and I've already gathered my first primordial gem, so we'll probably be seeing one every 2 or 3 days. This is by far the furthest I've been in solo self-run. The furthest?
The furthest. Nice.
Even further than furthest.
Listen,
wait. Is it the first time you played SSF? It's not the first time.
Like, I've played a tiny bit before, but only like to the point of like getting like 100 odd completion and 2 watchstones. Not like properly played. This time I've got 115 out of 115. I've got 3 watchstones. I'm gathering boss maps for my Uber Elder.
This thing is amazing.
I've never gone this far ever.
Yeah, but this thing is amazing for SSF.
Yeah, so I've been doing little video updates on like how things are going. I wrote like a spreadsheet out of the gear I want and where to find it and what div cards would give it and that sort of stuff. So like I had an idea of where I had to go and farm things. And I've never been in solo self-found this long, and I'm actually having a ball. Like, it's a really good time.
I think the game is a lot more fun with SSF.
I also started with an off-meta build, quote unquote. I started with Deathwish. Like I league started Deathwish, which is the more of Mischief helmet, Bex's helmet.
Huh? What helmet?
Yeah, the unique helmet.
More Mischief, yeah.
With the
Mischief. Okay.
Yeah, I league started as that, which meant I did have to spend my first like 3 days farming tier 4 cemetery to get the cards.
No, you actually farmed the whole set? Isn't it like fucking?
How else am I supposed to get it?
Isn't it like 40? Isn't it 45 cards or something?
It's 13.
13.
Okay, 300 cards. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but the more cards, the more easily farmable it is, right? Like if it was only 3 cards, then the drop rate would be way lower.
Yeah, so the 13 dopamine.
So I've started with that, and I didn't realize how hard a Beric's Respite is to get my hands on. And the build really, really, really needs one. It would triple my clear speed. I must have ran 100 atolls. I haven't found a card yet.
Black Flame would be really nice for you too.
I'm running rituals for that as well.
You'll probably get a Black Flame before you get a Barracks Respite.
Yeah.
And like even just an Anima Stone, which is normally like a day one purchase for me. I just have it 6 hours into the league because I play trade. I buy everything I want.
Yeah,
but once you get it, you'll be happy when you get it. You know, things have value again. They're not just 2C or whatever.
Right. That's the beauty of SSF. Exactly. Is like you get excited over the dumbest things that in trade you would be like, this is 2C, throw it away, vendor.
That would be hidden. I wouldn't have seen it.
Exactly. But in SSF, you're like, yes, I got a primordial might. I can make my Anima Stone now.
Yeah. So like it's not fun enough that I would give up my softcore trade league start. I enjoy the economy side a lot. But the economy side of things is only like super fun for like the first
start.
week.
Yeah, at the start, right? Yeah.
But then after that,
it burns you out.
I have tons of money now. Like I currently have 2 Mage Bloods and a Headhunter in my stash, just sitting there, and like 150x and half a mirror, and like, what am I going to do with all of that? Like, I just make whatever I want, right? Like, but it loses interest. So solo self-found has been very, very, very different. I've got what I would consider start of day 2 gear, and I've been there like 8 or 9 days now.
Now you got to get your Mage Blood and SSF.
Wait, didn't you do that already? Didn't you farm all 5 cards yourself?
I mean,
Mate?
No,
him.
Vader, I think you did that.
I dropped like I farmed like 11 cards and a full Headhunter and a Mage Blood on the ground.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but that was all in trade. Like,
with the trade juice. Yeah, trade juice.
I got one from Gwen in this league, actually. In HCSSF.
That's crazy. I only got a Headhunter from Gwen in Gauntlet like 3 leagues ago or so during Expedition. And then ripped
Gwen
because
never
I
gives
played
me
a shit
anything.
build. But you farmed a Mage Blood as well, right? You did also 5 cards.
Well, I worked for that one. I just click it on Gwenin. I dropped 1 card. No, I was literally just doing harvest, like just doing normal stuff in Crimson Temples. It's like, maybe I get lucky. It just randomly drops, and it randomly dropped. And then I gambled it to 4. I did it with 1 to 2, and then 2 to 4. Well, listen, and then I farmed the last one. The last one took me 3 million kills. Okay,
I tried to farm Crimsons, and I didn't get a single freaking drop, man. I was juicing, like I was running like 70, 80. I wasn't corrupting them, and I was running like 40-60% deli with scarabs and sextants. It just wouldn't drop for me. I dropped multiple 7 years bad lucks, multiple the Enlightened, multiple life thieves.
Yeah, it was like that
couldn't
too.
Get it to drop, man.
I think I got like 8 or 9 mirror cards, like 2 or 3 life teeth, like I don't know, like almost a full Enlightened set. I think a full Enlightened set, and like 3 Empower cards before I got the card, the Apothecary. And I also dropped like a raw Enlightens and Empowers off the ground.
I wasn't even trying to get a Mage Blood. I was fishing for like shields and daggers to like recombulate and roll. And of course, I'm not gonna roll over the heavy belts. I'm taking them. And like, if you watch the clip, I have a bunch of just random shit shields and daggers, and then I'm just like click, and I was like, holy shit, dude.
I mean, that's how it goes, because there's different currency for Gwenin that you need for the different item classes, right? So that you it doesn't compete whether you take the belts or the shields. It's different currency anyway, so might as well get both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I was trying to get an apothecary as well from farming Crimson Temples, and I did a decent amount of maps, like even reasonably juiced with like, Beyond and 40-60% Delirium-ish, but never got one. I got a shitload of XP from it on the Summoner. It took a long time to farm those maps because obviously on a Skelly Mage Summoner is not the fastest Crimson Temple farmer. But I never got an Apothecary card except then once later, like when I clicked some stack decks. I had like 5 stack decks in my inventory while I was talking, and someone in my party even set Mage Blood like right before, and then I clicked it and I got the Apothecary card out of it. Sold that for what, 35x or so, and then farmed together to get the 80-ish X or so that I needed for Headhunter, because that was after the buff. I could have bought a Headhunter for like 35x before they buffed it, but then it went up all the way to 80-90x again. Yeah. But first self-bought Headhunter, I mean, I grinded for it, but yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Anyway, I think we didn't get Deedle a chance to say what are you up to, Deedle? Any self promo that you want to do? Any POG content coming up?
So, I mean, obviously we're practicing with Gauntlet and going to be playing Gauntlet. After Gauntlet, I have plans. I'd leveled a Trapper in HCSSF. I want to kill the Ubers before the league ends. So I designed a Sab Poison Trapper using Divine Flesh, Zabakwa. That also uses Brass Dome, so I have a shit ton of a bunch of armor. I got 81 all res with 80 chaos, and it's a decent amount of damage. And I plan to go in with like purities for like Purity of Fire for Exarch, Purity of Light for Eater, and Purity of Cold for Maven, Shaper, and Uber Elder. So we're gonna try to take that down after Gauntlet, but so I'm a little bit pressed for time to make all this stuff happen, but it's good to be goal oriented and still have things to do. But that's about it. You can check me out at my Twitch if you would like.
Yeah, I'll link all of those again and chat
I seen
for everyone. Yeah, that was it. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you all have the utmost success in Gauntlet and you get some good prep in for the practice. I'm definitely going to start this week, Copium. No, I just got invited to a practice league, so it's definitely, I need to do a run or two. It's always, for me, it's always this balance between, it's also like when you pick a build, you can play the most meta shit build and like really maximize your chances, but for me personally, if I played a build like 5 or 6 or 7 times, the build that I'm most familiar with is mostly not the build that will make me, like, give me the most fun playing it, because I really have some degree of joy in figuring things out on the fly. So I really enjoyed last Gauntlet when I did the Absolution Guardian, because I had only one test run with it and I was completely unfamiliar with the build. And that's, I think, also the fact that I can credit the success to, because it was really fun and it was like, I wake up and I was like, oh, I want to play, right? Like,
Yeah.
But when I play something that I'm burnt out on, then it's harder to motivate myself.
Yeah, fun is important. It's a game after all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bunch of fun.
So
that's why
sometimes the best build is not the best build. That's like, it's really deep.
Next week for sure.
Anyway, thanks all for coming on. Guys, if you haven't followed, subscribed, and downloaded Rise of Kingdoms in cArn's name yet, then make sure you do that. And we're gonna try and line up another episode for the Thursday before the Gauntlet starts. And if all the stars align, then we're gonna be able to do that with some other Gauntlet experts, maybe, hopefully. And then, hopefully by that time, we have the majority of bounties, so we can have like an in-depth discussion of the bounties that are coming up. If you missed the beginning of the podcast, this is uploaded in full to Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the podcasting services. You can watch this on youtube.com/CatmasterOP. And of course, always the VOD on twitch.tv/CatmasterOP if all else fails. Other than that, thank you all for hanging out and supporting and listening for so long. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.